And thanks for joining us, everyone, from Bolero Mount Prospect. This is the 2 p.m. local time, 3 p.m. Eastern squad for the 6th of 7 weekends of the PBA League Bowler Certification National Championships. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm $2 Phil Bratlow bringing you through the squad. Joining us in Game 2, it's going to be Sean Rash. So if you have questions for Sean, that doesn't have to be about the PBA. It could be about bowling in general. It could be questions about his overall career, ranging from back when he was in youth leagues till now. But get those questions for Sean Rash in the chat, and we'll get to as many of them as we can. And we've got a big name here on this opening squad. You'll see him starting out here on lane 11. Trey Heinrichsmeyer. Trey, your defending Open Division champion. We're going to stick mostly with Trey during Game 1 here, as he's our big name. If we get a big score, that's what we have the main feed out here for you during the run of the LBC National Championships. We follow the big names, the big scores, the big runs on the score sheet. Had a couple of those this morning on the 9 a.m. squad. Had our third 300 game of this 2024 edition of the PBA LBC National Championships. As Fernando Hernandez, during Game 4 of his competition this morning, put up perfection. There you see Heinrichsmeyer, first ball of the LBC, and hey, here's a surprise. Trey Heinrichsmeyer strikes. That's 23 in a row for Trey, even though he's only in the first frame, because he finished with the last 22 last year in competition, as he used that 300 game to put up the score that took down that $25,000 Open Classic Division top prize. That is the top prize again this year. Along with $5,000 top prizes guaranteed in the Women's Classic, Senior Classic, and Men's and Women's Handicap divisions. $2,500 in smart money on top of the boys handicap and girls handicap division. Those boys and girls divisions new this year. To this PBA LBC National Championships. Talked to Trey a little bit before the round started. Mom and Dad both here, making the trip down from Eau Claire, Wisconsin to cheer Trey on once again. Trey's going to be attending Wichita State starting in the fall. He's going to be entering as a sophomore. He doesn't have credits in high school for advanced placement courses and such. That he's looking at basically a 3-year career at Wichita State as a shocker, and then decide whether a professional career in bowling will be following that collegiate career. one would think with the early successes that Trey has found, that could be a distinct possibility. Trey entered his first PBA regional back on Memorial Day weekend in nearby Lockport, Illinois. And won. Doesn't get credit as a PBA title, however, a PBA regional title, as he is not currently a member of the PBA. And there's the front three for Trey, picking up where he left off. That is the longest Veripapa 300 I think I've ever seen. With that 20, now 5 in a row. CJ Petrin, we saw CJ take the lead early in this LBC National Championships last year. Still ended up with a top 10 finish for CJ. Marcus Oyen and Andrew Fisher on out that pairing on 11 and 12. Oyen, we've seen at a few PBA regional events over the last few seasons. And once again, same pattern day in, day out during the run of this LBC National Championships. 43 feet in length, just under 30 milliliters in the pattern. About a 4.5 to 1 ratio. So it is very playable. We've seen some big scores. We did see Graham Fa last week. You've had a chance to go back on the various YouTube feeds and you want to see somebody strike a lot. That would be Graham Fa last Sunday on his squad, as he's in the PBA exempt division. And Fa put up an amazing 16.34 total. So it's averaging 8.17 each 3-game block. Heinrichsmeyer finds trouble. My, oh my. The power behind the shot. Really?
Was there ever a doubt?
Yes, there was. I called it as soon as it was out of your hand. I doubted it.
Phil, let me tell you, I got the whole lane.
You got the whole lane. Okay.
Not really. That one makes me think
You do have the longest Veripapa 300 I've ever seen, because you ended with
26.
Yeah, I mean, because it's been a year, you had 24 in a row. So, yeah, now you're at 26. Keep it going. Oh, man, you shoot 1,800, I think somebody's going to buy you a car. Won't be me, but somebody will. He does have a very good sense of humor about himself, Trey. I've had a chance. You know, he's never bowled bad when I've had a live stream. I've live streamed 4 events that Trey's been a part of last year at the LBC. The regional I just talked about a little while ago. I did a youth tournament in the Milwaukee area during the World Series of Bowling in 2023 when it was at Blair Wauwatosa, and thanks to the Brunswick Youth Experience, we get a great time with all the young players that came in. But Trey was part of the winning team of that live stream event. And then the great event, the Junior Hall of Fame tournament, every November in the Milwaukee area. He's not kidding. He's got the whole lane. He's not kidding. When you're that relaxed, it happens. Yeah, and Trey's team won the Junior Hall of Fame last year. So I've done 4 live streams where Trey's been around, and he's won the title in every one of those events. It's going to be tough to repeat. He's got 15.29 on the board ahead of him with Mark Blaha. Pardon me, 15.23 for Blaha. It's the only 1,500 currently in the Open Classic division. Now, if you think about that, 15.29. You're basically shooting 765 each 3-game set. It's still a big number to put out there, but at the rate Heinrichsmeyer's throwing strikes right now, and considering his pocket's about a foot wide, He's got the right ball in the hand. He's got the right attitude to be out there with. He's just hanging loose and not tensing up. Yeah. The Shockers will be happy to have him in the fall. That is a no-doubter there. So Blaha leading, as we mentioned, one of only two 1500s shot in the tournament. Graham Fa 1600 would actually technically be a third.
Guys, I hit where I was looking. I'll send you an invoice. For what? Throwing a base direct. Yeah. That's what I was planning on throwing. I drilled it at 7 a.m.
Oh, man. The kid's good. There's no doubt about it. Is he going to get in the first place in this event? It's going to take a lot more strike stringing to do that. As we mentioned, it's basically shooting, you're basically averaging, 260 a game to get there. 15-23. Yeah. Bailey Maverick second, 1488. Derek Off was just 2 pins behind that. So we've seen some players get close. We saw Riley Smith last Sunday on the same squad that Graham Fa was on. Smith put up 802 for his first 3 games, so ran into a couple of struggles towards the end of his 6-game block. Smith still put up a respectable 1481 total to be in fourth, and Tim Pfeffer. Tim, big set for team all events recently at the USBC Open Championships. Came right here, everyone he was done in Las Vegas. Tim started his day with 299, kept going, but ran into a tough pair on the end. And finished with 1468 to round out your top 5 in the Open Classic division. But right now, so far, and it's kind of surprising, but different pattern from last year, different lane service, all kinds of other things coming into play. Only 20 players on the Open Classic division have thrown a 1400 series, so 700 for each 3-game set. And don't forget the optional events as well you have here at the PBA LBC National Championships. Your first 3 games count towards a double score. You can bowl doubles with anybody that hasn't bowled in the tournament yet. So if Trey Heinrichsmeyer decided he wanted to put money in, pay the $50 team entry fee for doubles, $25 for each player, and he wanted Sean Rash as his partner tomorrow, when Sean hits the lanes at 11 a.m., they'd be partners. So there you go. And they would count your first 3 games for that. You can put a 4-player team game together. Four-player team is games 4, 5, and 6. And that $25 in entry times 4 is $100 for those teams. And there's scratch and handicap sides of those events as well. Not going to add the total up last week, but Riley Smith and Graham Fa were doubles partners. So take that for what it's worth. Well, let's see if Heinrichsmeyer can hit the magic 30 number for strikes in a row in this tournament. Yes, it's over 2 years. Hey, it's something fun to talk about in Game 1. We do have another player in the field that had some success last year in this event. As Kayla Pashina threw a 300 game in her LBC event in 2023. She previously received her Mini Duke Trophy. That is the coolest 300 game award I've seen in a long, long time. And we've got Trey Heinrichsmeyer shooting for that mini Duke right now. He missed out on his chance on the big Duke last year. I've still never forgiven him for throwing a 6 count after Tom Doherty threw a 7 count. I don't think most of the world's forgiven Heinrichsmeyer for doing that. Letting Doherty slip through that open door and end up taking the $60,000 down. There we go. We got someone looking for Sean Lee in the chat. Let's see what pair he's starting on. I've got. I don't have Sean Lee on the squad. Maybe he was on the squad this morning. There you go, front 9 for Heinrichsmeyer. Ho hum. Get out with your friends and family as we have the front 9 for Trey Heinrichsmeyer. Looking to become just the 4th player to throw perfection in this year's LBC National Championships. Hey, Mark Blaha, I don't know if you're watching in the main feed right now, but if you are, drop me a line and let me know on a scale of 1 to 10 how nervous you are right now about your score holding up. Watching with, yeah. Front 10. The sun is bright, water is wet, and Trey Heinrichsmeyer strikes at the LBC National Championships. But this is only game 1. 5 more games to go. You don't know who you're crossing with. You might know some of the people you might be following, but they move just like in a standard PBA tour or PBA regional event. You're moving pair to pair across the house. You have to make those subtle adjustments. And as we've heard some players say about Bolero Mount Prospect, it's not the same pair to pair throughout this house. So getting those first shots off your hand each game where you want them is going to be key. For number 11, oh my. Was that 6-pin made of flubber? The way that bounced out of the flat gutter into the 10, it defied 3 laws of physics, in my opinion. Mark Blaha, I'm a solid 9 on the nervous level at the moment. That's the leader. I knew Mark would be watching, checking it out when we had a live feed. So, yeah. Yeah, you'll still get to go to Portland, just your check might be a little bit smaller. Here we go. He didn't do it last year, even though he put up the winning score. Can we get perfection for Heinrichsmeyer? Yes, we can. Perfection for the young man from Eau Claire, Wisconsin to start off this opening game. How about that? And I just saw Sean Rash head over there to give Trey some congratulations. Just the 4th 300 thrown. Here in the LBC National Championships in 2024. everybody coming over and giving Trey congratulations. So we're going to give you a little audio intermission. We'll stick with Trey in game 2. We're going to stick with that young man until he stops striking. And when we come back with commentary in game 2, we'll have Sean Rash with us as our booth guest. So keep dropping those questions in the chat here on the PBA YouTube channel. Game 2 coming up next. All right, looks like we're getting ready to get underway with game 2. We're going to stick with the hot hand. There you see the number next to Trayton Heinrichsmeyer. 300 for his opening game. And now joining me in the booth, former PBA Player of the Year, multiple-time titleist, and now more importantly for the rest of the PBA season, member of the league-leading Las Vegas High Rollers, with Sean Rash. Sean, good to have you in the booth. Thanks for coming in early. I know you're bowling tomorrow at 11 a.m. You getting any little scouting out there? I mean, obviously following Trey, it's pretty easy to scout right now.
Yeah, I mean, his rev rate's about 150 more than mine and everything else. But good afternoon to everyone that's tuning in and joining us for this afternoon squad of the PBA LBC National Championships, weekend number 6. And hot start there for Trey.
Yeah.
I think he wants a little bit more from last year.
Like I said, I think he wants revenge from the 6 count on TV. I think he really wants that back. The one you let get away and let Doherty
end up winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he would have went a little bit longer.
Yeah,
I believe.
No doubt in my mind. So
Trey has a great cross too. You know, one of the guys on the pair did I don't think showed up late, but 2 players that know how to bowl. CJ's a good bowler. The other gentleman has a really high rev rate as well, just like Trey.
Yeah.
So just kind of feeding off each other a little bit that first game.
Yeah, CJ put up a big number first weekend of the tournament last year. 35 in a row over 2 years for Heinrichsmeyer. Yeah, Petrin put up almost 1,500 the opening weekend.
I wonder if they planned to bowl together again then, or?
I don't know. They were on different squads last year.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Well, CJ bowled 230 with an open first frame, 7-2. I think he missed the 3-6-10, but you ask about scouting. I watched a few balls go down the lane. I personally have not been bowling a whole lot. I've been doing a lot of traveling overseas and just got back from Bowl Expo a couple days ago. And I practiced yesterday, which did not go very well. Probably practice this afternoon. But, it's not a extremely challenging pattern, but there is some flaws to it, right? If you make a mistake, it'll penalize you pretty quickly. Yeah. So Trey's throwing a Phase 2 made by Storm Products. The benchmark and the symmetric line, it's been around for a while. It's a very controllable type bowling ball. Of course, for him, rev rate, he's able to get a little farther left than most.
The Verapapa 900.
Yeah. After the game 1, he came up and mentioned that to us. I think he's going to put up a number.
I think so. As we mentioned, Mark Blaha watching. He's on 9 out of 10 on the nervous scale right now. The man's currently leading at 15-23.
He still needs 223 over for the next 5, which is 245, 246 average, which is a lot. But when you've hit the pocket 14 in a row and struck 14 in a row, I mean, he's on pace he's ahead of Graham's pace so far.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a.
This is the game where Graham stumbled last week, and he only had 237.
Yeah. Tough break. Sorry, bud.
So the travels, a lot of Far East travels.
Yeah, I was in Asia for a month. I never thought I would do that type of travel again, but the opportunity presented itself. It all really wrapped around a family wedding. A cousin of Sarah's who served in our military at Camp Humphreys married a Korean woman. They've actually already been married for quite some time here in the United States, but we're having a celebration in her home country.
Okay.
And Sarah's like, hey, can we make this work? And I was like, well, let me see if I can put some sense to it financially.
Yeah.
So I took Wes Malott, Kyle Troop, and Francois Lavoie, who bowled earlier today, to Japan.
The string's done.
Yeah, the string's over. He'll have to start again. You can tell that he missed it there at the bottom of his hand. It kind of fell off. But we did 3 or 4 events in Japan. I then went to Singapore to bowl, the Singapore Open. Kyle and Wes went home, and Francois stayed in Japan and did some work for our Storm distributor, High Sports, for a week. And then I met back up with Francois in Korea, and we did 3 events in Korea at all military bases. whether it was Air Force or Army. So in total, we did an event for our military. We did an event at Camp Foster, Kadena Air Force Base, and Misawa Air Force Base in Japan. And then we went to Osan Air Force Base, Camp Casey, and Camp Humphreys in Korea. So 6 tournaments or type events, clinics, pro-ams, 1 tournament there in Singapore and everything else. So a long trip, very rewarding, more than anything, just giving back to our red, white, and blue.
It's kind of like bowling's version of the USO.
Very, very
kind of.
similar, yeah. It's something that I'm trying to turn it into. While I was in Denver, Colorado for Bowl Expo, I met with leaders from the Air Force Base and the Army, MWR, to work on future programs moving forward in conjunction with not just the PBA and everything else, but that I do for a full-time job. But what they do for us, I say it in every clinic I do. I play a game for a living, and they sacrifice their families and their lives and everything else to give back to us here, homeland, and the freedoms that we have to be able to do what we do. So I'm forever grateful for our military.
Were you working with some, I know some families end up moving, relocating as well. Sometimes you get the kids and everything with mom or dad or both that are on a camp in the military. So did you work with some families during that time too?
Yeah, absolutely. We work with youth. We work with men, women, younger, older. I've actually met or seen one family in 3 different countries. That's unfortunate that how much he's traveled. I say unfortunate, but that's how much they move around. Every 2, 3, 4 years they will bounce around. So there is a story of one young man I met years ago that now just bowled collegiately here in the United States, and has dreams and aspirations of going on the PBA tour one day, right? And I met this kid 15 years ago in Japan.
Wow.
So, and then I saw him in Germany, and then I saw him. It's just, like I said, it's very rewarding for what we do.
Yeah. That's something that just a lot of people don't realize, is that when you guys aren't on tour, you're not sitting at home practicing in a bowling center. There's a lot of you that, like you said, you had Kyle Troop, Wes Malott, and Frankie Lavoie with you for these various period of times. I mean, there's a lot. You're not the only guy that's out there doing these particular clinics. You do more than anybody else, and I know.
Yeah.
But there are players that do that as well. But it's just amazing that, the people don't think, when they think military, they don't think bowling, that kind of thing. But the military bowling championships out in Vegas, and I know you've been there several times.
It's in January and
it's a
August.
huge
Yeah,
event.
every year. Both. It's very big, and it's funny you mentioned that others are doing it. More and more are doing more coaching based off of what I've kind of started 15 years ago. And I say but it was always before me, but I've kind of pushed it a little bit more than maybe a few generations before me, so to say. So what I try to tell everyone, it's a team effort. I kind of lead the way in most events around the country or / around the world, but there's definitely more players getting involved in charity type events, whether they're pro-ams, clinics, meet and greets, you name it. But we're definitely trying to do more, and I'm trying to do more for our military. Like I said, they do so much for us. It's the least that I can do is do something for them.
And the cool part about the PBA too, thinking about the military, the official charity, Bowlers to Veterans League.
Bowlers for Veterans League, yep.
How much money has been donated by you?
I honestly don't know. I do donate every year and do multiple things for them. And
I was talking an occasional fine or two.
Yeah, there's never been one of those.
Sorry.
Just ask our fearless leaders. I never get fined. So.
Well, it had to be. It's kind of funny. I had your teammate Andrew Anderson in here last week, and it's kind of funny now because shot clocks used to be. I remember one time we were in Las Vegas, the World Series, and you had a wad of $100 bills that you'd use for shot clock violation. It was funny. We threw one out at Kirk Von Kruger back in the day. I think a little more penalty to that now. We were talking to Andrew Anderson about, did you know that you were 2 seconds away from losing the Roth-Ullman doubles? Because now there's no money. I mean, there's no money. It's pinfall. You get the one warning, and then it's 0.
Yeah, that would have to be. You got to be really, really slow. I don't know if anybody could really fine them. But, again, I'm glad I'm not in that position or authority to make that call. But we do have a few guys on tour that are pretty slow.
Yeah.
mean, I can balk and probably still bowl faster than a handful of guys.
Yeah.
But, you know, unfortunately for me, I haven't made a whole lot of shows the last couple of years dealing with the injuries that I deal with. I have made a few, but luckily I haven't had to put myself in the position to get a 0 for myself individually or my team.
Yeah, because that's going to be a bit of a concern. Well, it's not that much of a concern at Bayside because the noise there all the time, it's not like somebody dropping a phone or something is going to throw you guys off.
Correct. It's a way different atmosphere, way different setting. Your mentality is different. I personally, I've said this many times, I don't mind the noise. I'd rather have it to a certain degree. I think for some of the traditionalists, which I am a traditionalist, certain type of events, I do want it quiet, right?
Yeah.
Like if it's the U.S. Open or the World Championships, you know, the focal point of the major and kind of putting the emphasis on the type of the event, I would think I would want it a little different.
Yeah. So let's see what we got for questions for you
For me,
in the chat. Absolutely.
how many people we got? We got anybody watching? I mean,
we got 100 and some watching right now. It always picks up as we go longer because the word starts to spread.
Let me get on Twitter.
So, yeah, get on Twitter.
Whatever
let
it's
them know
called.
you're on
What
there.
is it?
Twitix. Yeah, Twitix I call it nowadays.
Okay.
So, Sean, big fan here.
Take a picture of the booth.
Oh, and there we go. Just someone's wondering if you and Belmore are good now.
Never been bad, right? Like,
right.
He does, like, it's amazing how much this gets brought up. Jason Belmonte is a popular figure in our sport, of course. So am I.
Yeah.
We both want the best for the game. We both do it differently.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much more to put it past that. We both represent Storm products. We both try to sell their equipment, whether it's Storm, Rotogrip, or 900 Global bowling balls, or 3G shoes or Master products. Yep. End of the day, as an athlete, we're an entertainer. We're also trying to promote the sport and get people to go bowling.
Yep.
And I'm going to do it my way, and he's going to do it his way. And I hope we both bring a lot of people into our sport and bring viewership and new people in and sponsors and everything else. That's
the thing. And I've had this talk. I do the Spare Time Bowling podcast on Odyssey Radio Networks. And we've had this talk with Steve Pfeiffer and Dwight Albert often where bowling needs a black hat, man. It's just you can't have all good guys. And if somebody, even if they're not a bad human being off the lanes, there's nothing wrong with being a black hat on them. I mean, some people don't like watching you bowl, but they're watching you bowl. They might not like what you've said on the lanes or what you've done out there, and you're a different personality once the lanes are on. Simonson's getting the same grief from a lot of people right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Pete said it. I probably said it before Pete, even though he's done it a lot longer than I have. But you love to watch me bowl to win, and you love to watch me bowl to lose, and the love-hate relationship that we have, and that's okay. There's only a handful of people that you probably trust or rely on or talk to realistically on tour. Like, there's not a lot of guys out there that would bend over backwards for you, right? Like, we just had this talk on 4th of July with some friends, and someone was like, how many people do you think, what percentage of good people are there in the world? And my number was very low.
Yeah.
Like, if you had a flat tire on the road, how many people are going to stop and help you? If it's a busy road, definitely not a lot. If it's a quiet road, sticks, you might get a few more.
The USBC Masters champion might change your tire.
Yeah, Andrew Anderson, maybe. But it's the same way on tour, right? Yeah. It's cut dry, right? It's you have your cliques, you have your friendships, you have the people you can trust. But I feel like I'm a pretty good person, and I feel like I would stop if I knew it was a PBA guy on tour. But like if it's pouring and it's snowy and I can't tell who they are, I got kids in the car or something else, maybe I think differently.
Yeah.
But we see people on the side of the road all the time that need help, and how many people stop and help?
Yeah.
Not many.
Not unless the car's on fire and they're still in it. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah, it would have to be. I mean, not saying that's me, but life and death. Yeah, you're definitely, hopefully, going to stop.
Yeah. So it's not life and death for Heinrichsmeyer right now, but that's 3 consecutive 10 pins, and a couple of them were weak 10s. So what do you do in this situation knowing that you have one more shot at it in the 10th frame?
Well, biggest thing is trying to catch the double, but you got to focus on the 9th frame. Make sure you strike, go through the routine, right? Not try. He might be trying to control the outcome already. Off to a hot start. Know that you got great ball reaction. CJ's struggling on this pair too, so that's the tough thing about what we do on tour, and even in this event is following certain people, right? If they don't play them right, and they can definitely make the patterns a little bit different and change things.
So we'll stay here all the way through Heinrich Meyer's game, and another question in the chat for you. What is your favorite current bowling ball? I've had one person ask, and I have another person asking, what was your favorite bowling ball from your time at Brunswick? So that's interesting, 'cause you had quite a few years in with that as well.
The one ball that comes to mind more than anything is the Total Inferno. I won my first major with it, the USBC Masters in Milwaukee. I won my second title with it in Baltimore. So, getting 2 titles with a certain bowling ball over a couple years span is hard to do, right? They changed so much. Back then, bowling balls weren't made as much, but definitely a lot more nowadays. But, currently with the 900 Global brand, my favorite ball is the Eternity Pi. It's a medium type benchmark asymmetrical bowling ball. Can be used on multiple patterns, lengths, and builds. I'm really excited. The new Harsh Reality Pearl that just came out. It's a Pearl ASIM, more angular than the Eternity, so kind of give me something to go to after the Eternity Pi starts to bog down and sees the front a little too much. So
now you mentioned you were just at Bowl Expo out in the Denver area last week. Did you tour Mile High Stadium at all? I know you're a big Broncos fan.
I didn't. So I am a big Bronco fan. So the resort, Gaylord Resort Denver, is 5-10 minutes from the airport. So to get to Mile High, you're going to have to go another 30-40 minutes because the airport is so far away. So it's very convenient to just be right there and do that. So I've seen a lot of the Denver Stadium. Been to many games through the years and friends with many of the players throughout the years. Quinn is a good friend and loves to bowl, and Bolus and a few other guys, and C.J. Anderson.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been a while. I remember seeing C.J. at the Masters one year when he was in Vegas.
I've seen many of those guys and been to many games there in Denver. So wrapping up game 2.
Yeah.
And Trey is definitely on. It's amazing the roller coaster of emotions you can have during a block. Shoot 300, everything's great. And now you've only thrown 4 strikes and 9 shots. You've hit the pocket 8 times. And frustration can kick in, but you got to stay positive. Continue to control what you can control.
And he's keeping it clean. I mean, that's one thing that for quite a few years you'd see young players out that wouldn't really pay attention to their spare game much, and that's really changed, and that's a wrap 10. My goodness. For Heinrich Meyer, and he's getting all the carry he's gotten his last 3 games of LBC competitions coming back to haunt him right now. But stay clean, get out of there with 205. You still have 505 for 2. It's still a heck of a start. And CJ finding more problems as well. Now super washout. So let's take a little audio intermission as the players will be changing lanes once again. If you get more questions for Sean, please dump them in the chat. Fire away. We got him for a couple more games for sure. And if you don't want to ask him a question, tune in tomorrow, 11 a.m. We'll have all the pair feeds going once again on the PBA YouTube channel.
I'm a little nervous about bowling tomorrow.
And we're going to be, you're going to be able to follow Sean every game tomorrow in his 6 games of competition. And anybody else you want to follow for this weekend and our one remaining weekend coming up next weekend. Game 3 coming up next. better than last year.
Hey, there you go. Going, 2 or 3 games there and come down 2 or 3 games to be really different. Keep it up. Coming.
And game 3, well, for some pairs, underway. Game 2 for others. Finishing up, I'm $2 Phil Bryla. With me once again, Sean Rash. If you have questions for Sean, drop them in the chat and get to as many of them as we can as we progress through the afternoon.
I'll answer what you got.
Yeah.
Send them in.
How many 300 games do you have, Sean? There you go. Does it get to the point where you've just stopped counting?
Pretty much. I mean, I know I'm over 130. I just, it sounds like, oh, you don't know how many you had. Or did you really bowl that many? Well, I had 24 as a kid by the time I was 20.
Yeah.
I have 30 to 40 on tour, and I honestly don't even know how many I have on tour because can't find them anywhere.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think
something you don't look up.
I don't think it's on your bio.
No.
You have 2 on TV.
I do have. I mean, I at least have 2. I know
Right.
I have 2. I bowled 300s all over the world in exhibitions and pro-ams and tournament play, and then I mean, not this year, but last year. Thank you. Might not have been done with that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had 5 2 years ago, and 2 800s. And then last year, I don't know if I bowled 300 in league. I think I had 299. So just hit and miss. I mean, it's just, I've bowled a lot, and it's still, I still get nervous when I shoot them. I still feel the anxiety and the rush when you get the front 7, front 8, front 9. It's still a pretty good thrill.
Is league still fun for you?
Oh, I
after all
love
this time?
league,
Yeah. Okay.
I bowl Tuesday nights at Parkside Lanes. I bowl with my wife and 3 other couples. We're called the rotating partners because we all have kids and our schedules are always changing, so we're rotating our schedule every week. Or hey, can you sub for me here and we'll bowl for you there. And my wife builds a Excel spreadsheet for the 4 families to rotate weeks on when they bowl and can't bowl because of kids' functions or holidays or planned trips. And so I bowl as much as I possibly can until we go out on tour. And then even when I'm home during the 2 or 3 week stretch or 1 week stretch, I'll bowl league. I got to bowl our final week this week, which was great. We needed to win one of the 3 games to win the league, and like I said, I love the bowl league.
Yeah.
It's a chance to relax and enjoy the game,
Yeah.
and fall in love with it.
And Sarah's no slouch.
No, my wife averaged 208 or 210 this year, I think.
Yeah.
I should have got her to bowl this year, but she hasn't thrown a ball since April 18th, so I don't know. I don't know if she's going to come in here and bowl 200 over or even 150 over.
Yeah, right now it's 145 over for second place for the Women's Classic.
Yeah, she'd probably bowl 1240 just because she plays 10. She's a pretty good spare shooter. She's not going to give it, get out of play. Her mistakes are going to be 8 counts, right, and makeable.
Yeah.
Who's leading? Gianna, right?
Gianna, yep. Gianna with 1396. Melanie McDaniel put up 1345 this morning.
Oh, that's a good score.
That was with a 2-0 finish.
And who's third?
Danielle, 1260, almost 100 pins back.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Danielle struggled.
Good.
Danielle struggled. Verity Crowley struggled. Mallory Clark struggled. Alexis Runk struggled. So you look at some of the women that are, full-time or part-time PWBA, and they've kind of struggled a bit on this.
How many more ladies are currently signed up?
There's quite a few coming up over the last weekend or so. There's more than half of the women bowling in the field are bowling either tomorrow or next weekend. So there's some big names on there. I mean, Liz Johnson, there you go. She won it last year on the last weekend. Stephanie Zavala is your partner bowling last weekend. I recognize Olivia Komorowski. She led early in the tournament last year. Kayla Pashina bowling today. She had 300 and put up a big number last year as well. So yeah, there's some possibilities out there to knock off either the 1396 of Gianna Brandolino or 1345 of Melanie McDaniel. I know Gianna and the rest of Junior Team USA making their way to Korea for the international. Was that IBF bowling youth bowling championships? World Championships. Yeah.
Yeah, they're on their way, I believe, right, or getting ready to head that way.
I think I saw a picture of them at San Francisco Airport yesterday, and that's a crack coaching staff you get with Kelly and Kendra Cameron, and I know Parker Bowen's going with Brandon, so I know you.
He'll
and
be helping. Yeah.
So I mean, you want some good international coaching experience there with the team, and they are definitely going to have it. So. I mean, you're no stranger for international competition and winning medals on the world stage as well.
I've been very lucky to wear the red, white, and blue. I'm very grateful for that opportunity.
Oh, here's a good question. What's your go-to ball at a moment when things get frustrating? Something you know if you go to, you're going to be able to get a good read off of it.
I was going to say my spare ball. I know it's going to hit the one that I leave normally. I mean, I feel like over time I've been a pretty good spare shooter. I definitely have missed spares at the wrong time. It's cost me a couple championships. Most recently the doubles 2 years ago with Matt. We would have had a second doubles title. But you're just looking for that benchmark ball that you feels great on your hand. It doesn't matter, what brand it is, right? You want a ball that you can control. That's going to tell you where the oil is at if you're right-handed to the left and if you're left-handed to the right. And where the dry is, and you know, the length. You're going to be able to figure out the length real quick, hopefully, whether it's a short, medium, or long pattern. So, you know, just make sure you have something that you always comes out of your bag, right? First ball of your bag. Mine's the Eternity Pie right now from 900 Global. My second one would be the Idol Optimum. You know, a symmetric piece. Lightning Blackout, weaker ball. Something I get to stand left, throw right at when there's friction. So I'm pretty happy about that.
So, yeah, because somebody in the chat, Steven asking, two-hander looking for a ball when the lanes really get fried. So could that be
Lightning Blackout, definitely for sure. Tropical Surges, you know, hustles, Rotogrip hustles. Those are really popular on the tour, especially, you know, the two-handed players.
Yep.
Belmo, Simonson, Troop, they all have a couple different hustles.
I thought we'd get no more of the questions like this, but somebody did ask, what's more irritating, a pocket 710 split or Jason Belmonte with a water bottle?
Nowadays, it's the 710.
10. Oh, this is a spectacular question. After a successful tournament, what is your go-to beverage to celebrate? I like that question. Well done, Mark.
Well, water during the event,
yes,
or Gatorade.
Yes.
How do I want to answer this? Well, coming soon, it'll be the new Sun Cruiser beverage.
Oh, okay.
They're like a little less alcohol and sugar compared to like a regular Truly.
Yeah.
Made by the same company.
Okay.
So.
Good to know. Sun Cruiser.
Yeah, they were at Bowl Expo.
Okay.
And I've known the lady that comes to Bowl Expo every year for over a decade, and a little early, but
yeah.
There's some, we'll just kind
of
leave it on the tee to take it from there. So,
well, hey, that's good. That's good to know. Something else to look out and look forward to.
They were amazing. Like, it was warm and there was a concert. They were refreshing, right? They didn't knock you on your butt.
Yeah.
Like certain drinks.
Right.
Oh, there's a pocket 6-pin. That was pretty cool. Done that a few times on. It's fun. You know, last year would have been a PBR. You know, they were part of the PBA League and PBA sponsorship, and I didn't mind having a few PBRs through the day.
Right.
Everyone knows I like the Sailor, Captain Morgan. It's one of my drink choices. I'm also a big wine guy. No wine connoisseur, but I love a good red, or whether it's a Cab or a Merlot.
I gotta have a steak to have wine. I can't
do
wine by my.
Definitely for when it's red. Yes, I would agree with that. Or like a pasta.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't mind. Like, I didn't drink white wine. I should say I didn't drink red wine until I met Sarah.
Okay.
Now it's all I drink, and I used to drink a lot of Rieslings and Moscatos with fish, right?
Yeah.
Always trying to pair the food with the beverage choice, but I definitely like to drink a lot of water, though. I hydrate myself pretty much frequently with a lot of water, and then I've got a couple different mixtures that I put in my water for energy through the day, or workout type drinks for protein.
Yeah, I mean, if you come down the concourse of a PBA tour event in the morning, you don't see Mountain Dews and stuff like that. You see a lot of water bottles and a lot of shaker bottles that have a lot of nutritional value beverages in them. So
yeah, the biggest thing, going back to some injury stuff, is trying to find a way to take care of your body. And one thing is by not drinking, of course. Putting stuff in your body that keeps you fresh and healthy and whatnot, but I love me a good Gatorade every now and then.
My wife and I doing the liquid IV thing that we saw them at Costco, and they're actually really good. You just mix them with water, a little shaker thing, and they're actually as flavorful as a lot of those Gatorades are.
Yeah, they got a lot of. When I started doing those, it was more for trying to hydrate yourself from drinking too much.
Yeah.
Well, they've actually become more of a health kind of thing. More than anything. It's good to stay hydrated no matter what you're doing, right, throughout the day. I do a lot of traveling, so you don't get a lot of hydration sometimes.
It's a running joke is that you're in a gas station in Wisconsin when there's cold Pedialyte in the cooler doors for all the hangovers. All right, Trey trying to get something back there after he went open.
Yeah,
strike
210, 210, I believe, 2 different combinations.
Yeah.
CJ was 6 in a row.
Is it going to be tougher? And I've had this question. I've asked a couple of the players that come in the booth from the tour. Is it tougher to not know who you're following tomorrow than knowing who you follow on a tour event? Like you're going to be following these guys this game, and then 8 guys crossed on these 2 pairs. Is it tougher to get those reads?
I mean, there's a lot of pros and cons to having the pros bowl all at once, or jumping in throughout the weekend, right? To follow who you follow typically. As this is our second year with the PBA LBC Championships, they're learning. I think people enjoy being able to cross with pros in their squad, but at the same time, I think they enjoy watching the pros just bowl all at once. So it's, for the people that are bowling today, or tomorrow when pros do bowl, it's a miniature pro-am, right?
Yeah.
A couple of $100 and an opportunity to make some money also. On the flip side, there's some good money up for grabs here.
I mean, somebody could be walking if they win the Open Classic division and then win in Portland. That's $85,000.
Pretty good payday to bowl.
How many tour events that aren't majors do you have to win to get $85,000?
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you think of that, how many people make $85,000 a year? Not many.
Yeah.
But you bowl 6 games and maybe a game on television, so you bowled 7 or 8 games for $85,000.
Right.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, this lady throws good right here.
What are we on? We were
Ashley
following her at the end of the
Jackson.
last game. Yeah, let's get there. We'll watch Ashley a little bit here in a second. We'll wait till Trey fires here, and then we'll get back down to Ashley when she's up. She's only finishing her 4th frame, so we'll have a few frames again to watch. Ashley is, that 13:45 from Melanie McDaniel. It's in sight. If she keeps pacing
she's
where
even
she's
right
at.
now.
Yeah.
She's not-
Oh, she is 4. Okay,
Yeah.
4. I thought there was an 8 there for a second.
Yeah, 484, I tell Melanie she's in trouble.
Yeah.
I don't think she's got anything to worry about right now unless she – Ashley's having some issues with the single pins today.
Let's be honest. Melanie's just got to worry about Ryan.
Who?
Her husband.
Yeah.
I should have asked her when I interviewed her after her block was done if she was actually going to take Ryan with her to Portland.
Probably not.
We'd have to put Highland Lobster Company on high alert for you if he was there.
Yeah, I'm definitely we were just in Portland, too, a couple weeks ago for the Drive for Kids charity event that Ronnie plays in, where I'm his acting manager. But I definitely had lobster every day, and I'm really looking forward to going back for the PBA League in September. I want to say Pro-Am tickets are on sale or getting ready to go on sale for Saturday night, the 14th, and then Sunday the 15th, day 1, and then your number 1 seeded team, the team that I'm on, we bowl Monday night, and we plan on bowling Tuesday night as well. My teammate bowled this morning, Frankie, as well as AJ Johnson. Ogle bowled a few weeks ago. Andrew bowled a few weeks ago. And I don't think Matt Russo's bowling this event.
I have not seen him on the schedule, correct.
And then Thomas Larson, of course, living overseas.
So in the postseason, we got the matchup for the league. Obviously, you said you've got Sunday the 15th off. We've got the Adams Splitters versus the LAX. Winner of that match goes on to take on the Lumberjacks on the second round on Monday night. You guys get the winners of the Muscle and Kingpins on that one. Now, for the semifinals, are those matches best 3 of 5 this year? Or?
Correct.
Okay.
So first round's best of 2, and then the semis are best of 5, like the finals. And I personally I don't care who we bowl because I think we're going to win, right?
Right.
Or know we're going to win. That's right. You got to have that positive mentality. You got to talk it into existence. But I thought it would be, because the first round is the day before, the number 1 seed should bowl whatever low seed is left, not a predetermined kind of bracket.
Right. Just with 6 teams, you don't really need a bracket.
No.
Yeah.
But it's also the play-in kind of thing, right? She gets it. That was a little wide that time, but she throws it hard and she hits it.
Yes, she does. That's pushing 400 on the rev rate right there for the young lady.
She's getting her legs into it, using her body instead of trying to muscle it. But
I think that's one thing a lot of new players don't realize is that generating the speed, so much of it comes from the legs.
Yeah, well, it's all sports, right? You know, golfers hit it a mile because they almost come out of their shoes. I think of Scotty Scheffler right now. He doesn't have any balance when he lets go, but he's already hit the ball when his feet are going sideways.
Yeah.
So you got to have some sort of balance and stability, and that's how you get a chance to repeat.
So, yeah, I'm glad the change for the best 3 out of 5. I'm a fan of that for the stuff in Portland.
Yeah, there's so many suggestions and ideas that every player thinks this is right or that is right. I know I'm just as guilty, right? We always give our commissioner or the PBA ideas, whether it's criticism or constructive criticism or things that needs to be fixed. But I really liked one of the early formats where there was a singles, a doubles, trios, team match.
Oh, back in the original years of the.
Yeah. And I'm hoping, you know, moving forward, one of the things I've suggested, and I'm sure if others have too, is, you know, if there's time permitting during the week when we bowl our matches, that, you know, if you want to add a little bit more points or value to it, you could do my suggestion would be have a singles match, and then they can't be in the doubles or the trios. Then you have a doubles, and then you have a trios match where if you're in the doubles, you know, you have 3 guys left.
Yeah.
They have to bowl the trios. Now, of course, if one guy is out that week, you have to be able to let them bowl the trios or the doubles. But then, you know, you have your Baker match and someone sits. But now you're doing 4 types of events, and it brings in a little bit more good spare there. Brings a little bit more into the emphasis of team play and building off the pair and everything else. So back-to-back shaker 4s there for Trey.
Yeah.
A little shocked. Only going to bowl 2-teen, it looks like. 220, 2-teen.
So a long way to go if Heinrichsmeyer is going to defend that title. Let's see if we got. There's got to be some more. Drop them questions in the chat. There's several questions in there, but I unfortunately don't read. You read Korean? No, so that makes 2 of us. So, and unfortunately, I don't think Google Translate will work for me.
So-mei means soju and beer combined. I know that. Not that I had any of those in Korea. So-mei, so-mai, so-mei, something like that. We were just talking about it the other day about mixing the Korean beer and Korean soju.
I just remember biru from Japan. Biru, makes it easy.
Japanese, yeah.
Apparently, my name translates as Firu in Japan, so Firu needs biru worked out pretty well. The couple of times I was there.
Muay Thai. Muay Thai. More, please. More. One more.
Oh, yeah. Somebody actually confirmed my Pedialyte in the cooler doors at the gas stations in Wisconsin, right next to the Spotted Cow, right next to the New Glarus Spotted Cow.
Spotted Cow, the beer of choice in Wisconsin. It's pretty good.
It's hilarious now because you can actually buy 12 packs before you board your plane after you're through security of Spotted Cow.
In Wisconsin?
Take with you, yeah, at Mitchell Field.
Well, there's a smart idea.
Well, it's like Portland. You can leave with a lobster, a live lobster. They pack it up for you and everything. You could take it as a carry-on if you wanted to. Oh, we knew this was going to be coming. Dun, dun, dun. String pins.
Can't wait. No comment.
There are going to be a couple of regionals coming up in October.
Yeah, we just so the PBA just held one, right?
Yep.
The seniors
For
down
the seniors,
in Florida,
yep.
and then
Surprise, Walter Ray won something.
yeah, then up in Wisconsin, there's going to be one in October. at Foxview Lanes? Or
Foxview Lanes. And the weekend before that is EJ Tackett's
So
Easy
EJ's
Bowl.
going to host. Okay, I didn't know if EJ was hosting an event this year or not.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he's hosted the RPI for the Central Region in past years, but because the string pins are still considered experimental by the PBA, they're going to let him host a regional event. It won't count for a title or points in the region or anything, but it'll be administered by the PBA, and they're actually using it as a certified test to see if string pins could come into play at the regional level sometime shortly. I don't think you'd see it at the national level for a decade.
you think a
Maybe
decade?
more? I think a decade.
I said by the end of next year.
Really?
that some sort of event will be on. Will matter. I don't know what type of event, whether it's a
You think it would count for a national title?
possibly
Okay.
tour finals,
Okay.
playoffs,
Yeah. I mean, I guess
regional,
yeah.
something.
I
I just think it's in the works, right? Bolero's already started putting strings in centers across the country. I'm not sure how many have been put in yet, but I mean, we're at Bolero
few,
right now.
yeah.
We bowled a national stop here last year, right? So what I think about string pins is pretty comical to me. Is I put up a video a year ago in the UK bowling on the non-certified ones, and I had no idea what I was bowling on. It's the first time I'd ever thrown a shot on string pins.
Yeah.
And I didn't say anything good or bad about them. I just said the strings that I'm currently bowling on do not belong at a high level,
Yeah.
PBA level.
Yeah.
And I got crucified pretty good.
Well, jeez.
Shockingly, right?
Yeah.
That's the love-hate relationship of me.
Right.
Over the last month, or year, I should say, hundreds of other players have posted about string pins, and no one has gotten the much hatred as I have. And I think it's because they like to see me get riled up, which, yeah, it does definitely rile me up.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I'm still not a fan of it, even the certified ones. That I still have not bowled on those yet either.
Okay.
I plan on trying to soon, going back to my traditional ways. But I don't think there's enough data yet, right?
Yeah.
Or data, however you want to, whatever you want to say that word.
Yeah.
I was just speaking to somebody at Bowl Expo about it. There's definitely less messengers. So that makes me happy, right?
Yeah.
Even though I used to have a high rev rate and I threw messengers all the time. Accuracy becomes more importantly. I've become more of a shot maker through my career than when I first started. Older, I throw it straighter.
Yeah.
I don't spray it as much as I used to. So there's definitely some positives to it. I also see the benefits financially. I get it, right? It's expensive to hire a mechanic.
Yeah.
And there's not many, the generation of mechanics, they're all over their 60s and 70s. That 40 to 50-year-old age, none of it, I'm 40, almost 42. I never wanted to be a mechanic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's not crawling into some of these machines is, and I did that for a few years early in my career. Yeah, it's not fun.
yeah, no thanks. I'm good.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's still fun. I don't know if you've ever saw the pin setter, but it's got to be close to 20 years ago now, where they came out with a pin setter that used magnets to set the pins. And it was a cubic AMF thing, and I think it was out there for like 6 months, and then it disappeared. Like, all of a sudden, strings were the new thing. But it had so many fewer moving parts, and it didn't have, the big problem with these machines is there's things back here on a Brunswick machine, and then there's also things on the AMF machine that will kill you.
Oh, yeah.
That there's been fatalities on fixing bowling machines that people don't know what they're doing or they get careless. And
if you don't turn them off the right way.
Right.
We had a lady do it in Alaska. I was a kid. I had just left, so I heard the story the next day, but she forgot to turn the button off and put it underneath, and the sweep came down on her, and the rack was coming, and as soon as the sweep came down on her, 3 or 4 guys ran down the lane and lifted the machine off of her.
Yeah.
They turned it off and lifted it up so she could get out because it would have smashed her.
Right.
It was 8270s.
Yeah. So yeah, they don't mess around with body parts that get in the way. And I know on these Brunswick machines, for the sweeps, there's canisters with springs inside them that help sweep back and forth. And if you have to change one of those springs and you let that canister top get loose,
see ya.
You're gonna break an arm. I know a mechanic that broke his arm one time doing that. Got careless and bam, there went. You can't take a big heavy metal spring and have that happen. So yeah, there's some comments in there about watching Ashley and her power that she's got out there, and she gets that spare game under control. My goodness.
Yeah, she's lost 30 or 40 pins on 3 or 4 single pins. I think it's 3 that I've seen. Didn't get to watch game 1. She'd be at 40 over. So.
Who's the Swedish young lady? Nora Johansson.
Nora's two-handed,
yeah,
yeah.
two-handed. Saw some video coming up from the Team Masters this week. A couple young ladies two-handed as well. So starting to see a few more two-handers on the ladies' side.
Why not?
Right. It was still. I was working. I did a Bowl for Life live stream for Chuck Gardner before the pandemic, and Kelly Kulik was there. And we were talking about two-handed bowling, and Kelly goes, "You ever try to throw with 2 hands with a C cup?" She goes, "I can't do it." She's like, a lot of it's your body type that you need to have the right body type, and for some females, it's not going to happen two-handed because of that part of your anatomy. Yeah. So
the toughest. I mean, my wife and I talked about it yesterday, and I was actually coaching a friend's daughter yesterday, and the body build of a woman, of course, way different than a man, and how they get their hips out of their way and the rest of their body when the ball is swinging will affect swing alignment and direction and everything else you can think of.
Yeah.
So,
any of your girls taking up bowling?
So my oldest bowled 1 year.
Okay.
Just never got hooked, and I've had a lot of people tell me I have to make my kids bowl, and I'm not going to make my kids do anything they don't want to do. I want my kids to enjoy it and love it and have fun doing it. So.
Well, I'm sure they got other hobbies that they're doing.
Social media now and Roblox and every other game is their biggest thing. So, the iPads and phones are a blessing and just awful too, right?
Blessing and a curse. I don't have kids, but I don't have kids.
Yeah.
So,
it's pretty good to have.
Yeah.
For dinner at times, right? Like if you're out and you just want to enjoy some food, you put the iPad out. I sound like a terrible dad here right now, but at the same time,
kids are happy.
They're happy. They're not screaming.
Yeah.
And, there's times at dinner where there's games to play and everything else, right? We'll do tic-tac-toe and mazes and whatnot, but then sometimes it's just everyone needs to be. They need 5 minutes to themselves.
Well, we're going to take a couple of minutes for ourselves here. We're going to take a little audio intermission. We got some lanes moving around, and we'll get back with Sean Rash. Keep those questions going in the YouTube chat, and we'll have Game 4 rolling underway shortly. Game 4. We're going to stay with Caleb Pescina here on this first. She's got herself a good start, 672. Right on pace with what Melanie McDaniel put up this afternoon. And as we mentioned earlier, Kayla, one of the 13 300 games thrown in the PBA LBC National Championships at Bolero Wauwatosa last year, and she was the only female to put up a 300 in last year's event. I'm $2 Phil Bryler. With me once again, future PBA Hall of Famer Sean Rash. If you don't get in the first year you're eligible, there's something wrong.
Well, we'll see how many people love me and see how many people hate me real quick. You never know. Those are all voted on by your peers, of course. And if I go in, I go in, is what I tell people.
2025 you're eligible, correct?
I don't know how it really works.
20 years as a member.
I got my card May 25th or 26th of 2005, the Saturday of Tour Trials Week.
Yeah.
So technically I got to wait till
you'd be on the 2026 ballot.
Yeah, I guess, unless our season doesn't happen between January and May, right? Like if it's later, then maybe, but who knows?
I forgot you did tour trials before you went off PTQing back in the day.
Yeah, I bowled tour trials. Did not bowl very well.
Was that a tough decision to PTQ it after a disappointing start? I mean, you had to have a lot of support from not just your family, but a lot of people had to get behind you to make that happen, didn't they?
Yeah, it was extremely expensive, right? Just like it is now.
Yeah.
Bowling PTQs on Wednesday to get into the main field was the big thing, right? Back then, 64 people got a check at 2,000, so the reward was pretty good. Yeah. The risk was pretty high. I was alternate 7 times that year. I lost a roll-off once to Chris Hayden and Randy Peterson.
It's so weird hearing Randy Peterson at both PTQs.
Yeah.
My goodness. But now Tour Trials is back. This is one of the centers Tour Trials is going to be held in coming up in late August.
Yeah. I don't know a whole lot about it. Thankfully, I ain't got a bowl.
Yeah. It's 48 games over 4 days. There'll be 80 players that are eligible to be in the PTQ proper from points from this year through 44 through 100. If they're in the top 10 in their regional points from 2023, or if they're one of the 25 selected collegiate players that get an invitation, such as a Ryan Barnes, that will have to bowl the Tour Trials to get his spot. Cameron Crowe, even though he's not coming out of college, is another player that's pretty solid that's going to be bowling.
Yeah. This Kayla has 672. Yep. This Megan has 771. That was, and you think Megan's in the women's handicap.
Okay. So she's coming in at a 186 average, and she's got great form for a 186 average. So
186 is 558. So she's 200 pins above. So yeah, that's good bowling.
That's good bowling. Yeah, she's coming off a 232 game. So if she gets a few pins of handicap in there, that's gonna, it's gonna be in the if she's throwing 230 every game right now.
Can you not see? That says 237.
237. Sorry.
Man, I'm gonna get you glasses for Christmas, Phil. You
usually
still know this is Sean, right?
The far stuff usually isn't the problem.
Yeah.
It's usually I gotta bring out the cheaters nowadays. I had cataract surgery before the pandemic, so I had very advanced cataracts for a young player.
My dad just had it done on one eye, and is going to do the other eye soon.
Okay.
And loves it so far.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I mean, I had Coke bottles for glasses or contacts for years. That was the best form of birth control in high school anybody could ever ask for as a parent. The glasses I wore. Parents didn't have to worry about that.
I got no comment.
It was
not going into that conversation. This is a PG show, folks.
Yes. But I mean,
it is YouTube. Nothing's PG on YouTube.
I had some pretty thick glasses and stuff and contacts for years, and I've loved it just because after I near when I turned 50 is when I had the surgery. So,
Roll 3 pin.
but yeah, I've loved it ever since. Just I've had to have cheaters since then, which is no big deal.
How we doing? We got 175 now. Look at that.
It's
Phil.
getting there for Saturday afternoon.
Are you on?
So, 1,700 views altogether. So people popping in, popping out. So,
Okay. Hey, 175 people either love to hear you or me or a combination, or they're just watching to watch. So
it's definitely you.
we appreciate the ones that are listening in. If you have any questions, fire away.
Yeah.
Going to be here for 2.5 more games, folks.
All right. We got him for the duration. You heard him.
And then I got to bowl tomorrow, so I might answer some questions tomorrow while I'm bowling, because it's either going to be really, really good, or it's going to be the show up, collect your check, and get out of here kind of thing.
I wish I had an extra person tomorrow. We could do the we could hook you up with a mic for all 6 games. Give you a mic pack. Have somebody follow you for 6 games.
I'd love to, because it'll be really, really entertaining. I practiced, like I said, I practiced yesterday. I'm going to throw a few shots here this afternoon, just to check the approaches and make sure I can stand up. Drive an hour and 10 minutes home, and then I'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. I wonder how many people out of that 172 we can get them to share the stream right now, and maybe I'll give away a jersey.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know how we would do it.
Well, they can put it on there. Let's see. Yeah, how could we do that?
How can you pick one of the? Can you pick one of the viewers or no? Or is it just somebody that asks a question?
It's tough to do with YouTube because I don't have a.
You can't like randomize.
No.
Giveaway, can you?
No, I can't. Not like Facebook or something like that where I could take the names like people you see that share and then put assign a number to them. Because the only way they can really share is if they cut and paste the address and share it on Facebook or whatever or that kind of thing. That's a tough way to do it. So
Cubs
trying
lose.
to figure something out.
Phil, the Cubs lost again.
Oh, it's a shame.
They won 2 in a row, so it was a pretty good weekend. Yeah, they got one more tomorrow, homestand.
As a Brewer fan, I hate to see that.
Yeah.
As a Brewer fan, I think it sucks for Brewers and Cubs fans that they don't play each other anymore. I think, what is it, the first series after the All-Star break, and then they're done for the year? I mean, they got to save that stuff for September.
Ooh, ring 10, trying to catch a double.
So, I know Kayla bowls some PWBA stops part-time.
She's local, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
I think Minnesota. I think she's from Minnesota.
Oh, well, localized this area, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, nice little drive down here for her to get that. But are you bowling the trios?
I am.
I mean, it's a great bowling center. Great
hosts, great people.
Love me some Stacy and Corinne down there at Hijinks.
Was talking with the player committee this morning, actually, on ways to try to enhance it, moving forward and something else.
Is it something that could happen for more than just this season? I mean, I know it'll be a while until we see a 2025 PBA Tour schedule because I know that you've got to wait for
you got to wait on Fox to give the windows and everything else. I saw Tom in Bowl Expo, and they're diligently working on things already for next year. But until you get all the details, how do you give anything away or share anything, right?
You can't. I mean, but when you have a product now that broadcasters are willing to pay for, I mean, that wasn't the case for the PBA for a lot of years.
Yeah.
PBA was footing their own bills for the production and everything else. Now, every year, Fox and FS1, hey, here's money that helps subsidize your guys' paychecks.
Correct. Yeah, no, listen, they've done a good job.
And someday Rob Stone will be in that PBA Hall of Fame because what he has done to bring visibility through the sport for what he's done since going to Fox is the best part.
Yeah, and unfortunately we don't get Rob as much as we want him. Rob has basically become, what Joe Buck was there for a while with Fox. And Rob, he loves bowling, but he loves soccer as well. And he loves a little bit of basketball. Yeah. And, he's a bigwig over there in L.A. So
I've heard some stories of people getting rides to the airport after a major telecast with Rob Stone. Like Rob can make gates open at airports and stuff like that. It's phenomenal.
I've had a chance to speak with him a little bit outside of the bowling world, and I'm guessing he'll probably, I don't know if he'll be going to the Olympics to do any coverage for, Fox, the World Cup. He does a lot of stuff with the World Cup.
Yeah.
So just a busy guy. And like you said, we should be grateful and happy that we have him. Oh, we got a 4 count on 9. That's pretty impressive.
Let's take a peek over here.
It's a hard 4 to get. Not to make the guy feel bad, but you want, leave of the day. That's one of them right there.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know who goes in the Hall of Fame next year, though. Going back to when you asked me that.
And how about it? Picks it up. The old 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 10. Yeah, I'm trying to think of who might be eligible. I think this may be could it be a gap year?
No, there'll be somebody that needs to go in.
Yeah. But player-wise, I'm trying to think. Who would have their 20 years and their titles in?
There's definitely a few guys that haven't gone in the years that could.
I'm sure somebody from the veterans.
Veterans could be huge.
Could be a Guppy year or something like that, or Bob Learn.
Yeah.
I've heard Ryan Schaefer's name was on the ballot last year.
Ryan Schaefer's name needs to be on the ballot.
Yeah. He might not have the wins that other people have, but you look at the longevity and the money.
Second place finishes.
You look at the money that he's in the top 10 all time in money, isn't he?
Oh, well,
I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
Not sure where you'd find that information.
Yeah,
at.
well.
It's changed so rapidly over the last few years.
Yeah. But, but Schaefer's one of those guys where, sometimes people worry more about what happens.
She's fouled. No.
Oh, no.
Good shot, too.
Ring 10.
Ring 10 on the foul. Well, she's hit the pocket, so it's an easy spare, I think.
All right. Because you guys don't get involved in beat the board tournaments very often with the PBA.
No.
I mean, this is it's a PBA experience for people, but it's still a beat the board tournament. What do you do when you know, okay, I need 2 big games here in order to, well, for you it could be make a cut or advance onto a TV show.
Yeah, I mean, you still have to go through the process, right? One of the hardest things on tour is just letting it happen, right? We try to put so much emphasis, I especially, on getting off to a hot start, right? Like, the dream start tomorrow is to do what Trey did, shoot 300 or 290 and, know you only need a few hundred more to get there.
Yeah.
Trey, I think he only bowled 720 or 730.
Let's see here. We got a scoreboard 720, and now he puts up 216.
So he's only 140 over, and he shot 300 game. Here he comes, speaking of the guy.
Yeah.
140 over for 4.
So, does have that smile he had in game 1 for some reason. I
Changes
don't know
real
why.
quick, yeah.
I mean, those 10 pins in game 2 really
changed the momentum of the whole day, right? Like, if he gets 2 of those to fall,
right?
Even if he gets 1 in the right spot, the second one or third one might strike.
Yeah.
So you bowl, instead of bowling 2-0, you bowl 220 or 240. 540 is pretty solid.
It's just funny with. They should remake Bull Durham as a bowling movie somehow, because where Kevin Costner goes, you get the one little leaker through the infield, or the one little flare that falls in for a hit. You get 2 of those a month, and now you're in the majors instead of in the minors or out of the baseball. It's kind of like that with bowling too. You get the one hit a block that carries that the other guy doesn't, that kind of thing, and all of a sudden you can have an entirely different year.
Yeah.
I mean, Zach Wilkins kind of had that in 23, where he gets a couple of hits, he ends up 50th in points, and look at the year Zach had.
Yeah, there's 2 guys this year that breakout type years.
Yeah.
David Kroll and Zach Wilkins, where 3 years ago, not that they're phenomenal or great bowlers, right, 3 years ago, or terrible bowlers, but now, they're 2 of the best players in the United States.
Yeah.
That's a big storyline that I have with guys when we talk about best players in the world, and EJ Tackett currently is probably the best player in the world that we know of.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's definitely the best player in the United States and on the PBA Tour over the last 2 years. There's also a couple guys right behind him that any given day can win.
Yeah.
Kyle Troop and Belmo and Simo and then a few other guys that have been up there. And, but when you start talking about best players in the world, there's some guys in Far East Asia that would like to raise their hand.
Yeah.
The problem is they don't need to come bowl our tour to showcase how good they are. And that's unfortunate that it's not appealing enough to them. Belmo could have bowled the fun stuff around the world and probably did just fine. I don't know if he would have made the money that he made.
Right.
But he would have done all right.
Yeah.
You definitely don't build the resume and sponsorships through Storm or Brunswick or Motive without the PBA Tour. But I know for a fact there's some guys in Korea that rev it up more, hit it harder, and do more things with the bowling ball than EJ and me and a couple two-handers.
Watching the IBF World Championships from Kuwait last year, my goodness. I mean, I was lucky enough to be on the call for that championship match and team between the Korean guys and the Canadian guys. Holy cow, you watch those Koreans, and it's effortless, one-handed or two-handed, and they all got 550 rev rates, and they make it look so stinking easy. And they go, yeah, that's there's probably 8 other guys that could easily be on that team, or 10 other guys that could easily make that team. It's like, holy cow. And you never see them. I mean, for a few years, back when the early years when the World Series of Bowling was at South Point, there were several Korean players that came over, were very successful, a couple won titles. And then, like 2016, you didn't see him again for some reason.
Sorry, my mom just texted me and asked me how to watch or listen to us talk. She's not a YouTuber.
Oh.
So, sending her the link currently as we speak.
Your mom is so kind with the cookies and the beef jerky when I see her at events.
It says we got 14 viewers, which we got more than 14 because that thing.
I got 181 right now, So
maybe that's just on lanes 31 and 34.
Oh yeah.
So how do I? Let me see. I'm gonna play around with our YouTube.
Yeah, there's
page.
there's a main feed with your gorgeous picture on it that they may want to make sure they find.
Oh, main feed. Here we go.
Main
176 people.
Look at that headshot of you on that main feed too. That's a good
big head.
That's a good looking headshot.
I'm gonna say hi to everyone real quick.
Mark Blaha down to a 5 on the nervous level now. So Mark getting a little ease at home. Our #1 player currently in the Open Classic.
Fire away. Send your questions, everyone.
Ask for the Diana Rash cookie recipes. She should publish those. Well, she did. She did a lot. Did she work?
My mom
baking in Japan or not Japan? Alaska when you lived there? Was she working in a?
My parents owned a real estate business in Alaska. Yeah. Mom was the bookkeeper. She's always kind of crocheted off and on, and she loves to cook too. My mom was a professional baker before real estate, so. Did Sean just win his own jersey? I did. I'm going to wear it tomorrow. Smash the like button. Give me the thumbs up. Share away. And boom. Like it.
Yeah,
so,
what should we? I mean, we could always just.
I can do a giveaway. We'll do a giveaway in Game 6, so get your questions ready.
Yeah.
I'm going to fire out my socials just in case anybody wants to ask me questions separately and not be, afraid of the question in the big chat. But I'm on Twitter /X. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. And YouTube. I'm on YouTube as well, which I'm at I don't know how these people get all these subscribers on YouTube. I have 5,000 subscribers, and I feel like that's a ton. And then I look at what a couple other guys do, and I'm like, all right.
You get Darren Tang in the house.
Yeah, I need Darren Tang to do a video for me. But I use him more for just picking up some shots, promoting clinics, pro-ams, and everything else. So
You do some ball review. Do you?
I'm
ball
going to
review
start
here and
doing
there?
some
Yeah.
more here and there. I just drilled 2 of the new 3 releases from Storm. I just drilled an XL by Rotogrip and the Ion Pro by Storm.
Okay.
And I've got 2 harsh reality pearls that I'm giving to a guy tomorrow to drill for me, and I'll get those this week. So looking forward to seeing what those 3 do, and I'll practice on them next week. I've got a version of the Lucy Bonneau pattern that we're going to bowl on this year coming up. So
What's your highest finish at the Lucy?
I have finished second twice.
Oh, okay. Sorry to bring that up.
Yeah, no. Liz and I had it basically won one year, and unfortunately, kind of didn't happen. Last year, Stephanie Zavala and I were leading with 4 games to go. Anthony Simon decided to do something remarkable. He moved way right, which it wasn't that bad out there. I actually played right during qualifying, and I thought it was pretty good. But no one else would play there, and you need some play,
help.
or just he overpowered it and bowled remarkable. You think what the house crew did starting in 2019 really helped grow? It didn't help grow the PBA. It helped grow their own brands.
Yeah.
It might have helped the PBA on a backside with just a little bit of viewership and stuff, but it's just one of those things. Players can sure help grow the PBA by doing more promoting of the PBA. There's only a few of us, and I know for a fact that I do it, but share or like posts and comments and stories.
Yeah.
And you need to do it for not just yourself, but other players too, right? If you get along, like if your best friend puts up a video and you like it, share it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, and I'll say this because I've worked for 2 companies now, they kind of frown upon if I share my best friend Ogle's video of him throwing the new ball, right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
Right. You guys are doubles partners. You guys have won
Yeah.
the Roth-Holman doubles.
But I shouldn't be promoting him throwing a new ball, right? So, but if he's putting up a video of bowling in a clinic and stuff, then I'm definitely going to promote that.
Now, you guys are both sponsored by the same eyewear company, if I remember correctly.
Say that again?
You guys are both sponsored by the same eyewear company?
Yeah, Ray's Eyewear out
Eyewear.
of Colorado Springs. Yep, great
So,
people.
You can't. So if you guys are in the
We
same
can do
shop
something
for
like
Rays,
that. Yeah, we can do
but
something like that.
Yeah,
We
okay.
can do something like Arnicare, EJ Tackett, Danielle,
Love
and
love some Arctic. I've used that stuff before they were even a sponsor for you and other players. Minor joint pain, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna be putting on the roll-on stick on my knee and my back here right before my practice session.
I'm a big fan of the gel. So, yeah, my wife, yeah, we found that stuff years ago, and we've used it, like I said, before you ever got sponsored by it, and we continue to use it to this day. So, but you're also one of the best players with.
Hold on, I gotta do a score correction.
No problem. Sean Rash, man of many skills here at the PBA LBC National Championships. This is, let's see if we can get over here. Let's see, there you go. We got Sean Rash coming out. Let's see if he makes it. Oh, no, he's sitting at the table, so he's not going to get on screen. Son of a gun. That would have been good. But he is fixing the score right there in lane 5. Oh, there we go. Good question. I think Sean will answer that when he gets back. Oh, it might.
Dun, dun, dun. This would be perfect for
Oh,
the
there we
videos.
go.
There you go. I'm watching the bowling on my phone.
It's
I got asked to bowl Open Championships. I'm not scheduled to bowl. I'm actually thinking about taking a team. I appreciate John. Yeah, that's John. Asking. I really want to bowl with my dad once.
oh yeah.
Bowled with my wife, my dad, my brother-in-law, my nephew, and just go to bowl. Like, I've made some pretty good money through the years at the Open Championships, but I just want to go bowl with my family one time.
And now that you're a USBC Hall of Famer.
Hey.
Hey.
Can you believe it? I had enough people vote for me.
Not a surprise. I'd vote for you, Sean. Like I said, if I get as a member of the PBA media, I get a vote for the ballot, and you'd be on my vote, no doubt.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. I've had a good career. I had people ask me at Bowl Expo, like, how many more titles you want to? I was like, well, I want to win everything I bowl. Right. I know that that's not feasible, number one, and I don't know how many more chances I'm going to have left. I had 2 chances last year. Kind of let the doubles one slip away, and the Masters, unfortunately, Kyle Sherman bowled an unbelievable game at me before he didn't bowl a good game, but I feel like I could have given Simonson a run for his money if we would have bowled a couple games, but yeah, I really want to win a couple more majors. I've bowled for the title in all of them. I feel like I'm owed a world championship. Had a couple of them kind of taken away from me by formats and changing of finals venues. Yeah. But the U.S. Open, if Frankie wouldn't have decided to throw the front 5 at me, I think I would have won that one. We also made that show look about as hard as it could be. We didn't do a very good job. The 5 of us, I don't know if it was, I think it was last year's show when they were talking about the best 5 ever on a U.S. Open show. And I'm like, man, 2019 was pretty good too. We might not have had the resumes that we did then, but Kyle, Simo, Frankie, Belmo, and I, and Bill, that's a pretty good 5. Yeah. 6 guys. I take that I take that against any team of 5 with an extra. A pretty good group, though. Right. Me, Frankie, Belmo, Kyle, and Bill, I think. I don't know if Simon was on. It might have been Simon instead of Bill or Kyle, but yeah, it was Simon, not Kyle. 5 years ago, we didn't have the resumes we have now, of course. Yeah. So. Well, I was just going through. We mentioned earlier about the PBA Tour Trials and about how, hey, thank goodness you don't have to go through them again, that kind of thing. I mean, you look at some of the names on here. I mean, Pontus Anderson, Zeke Bates, Nathan Bohr, Kim Ballaby, Tim Foy Jr., who was on in Delaware this year, John Fury, Nate Garcia, Carlos Granados, Joe Grondin, who had a great World Series in 2023. Anthony Lavery Spar, Wesley Lowe, our defending Rookie of the Year, Cortez Schenk. Goes to show how tough the PBA Tour can be. You have a decent year, you get yourself exempt and everything. You have a bad year, and bang, away you go. Nick Pate, who's going to be here next weekend. Nick, unfortunately, didn't have enough points back into the PTQ, Tour Trials. Brad Miller, Tour trialing. So, yeah, I mean, there's so many good bowlers in the Tour Trials that are battling for 12 spots. Yeah, I mean, what's the entry count out right now, 60? It's full at 80, and then there's 10 coming out of the PTQ. You sure it's full at 80? Oh, no, 88. 86 is full, pardon me. Because there's 10 coming out of the PTQ for 96, because they're maxing at 96. Is that full at 86? No, 80. Okay. We got 80. So they've gotten some sign-ups over the last few weeks. Yeah. Well, bowlers, There's always room in the tournament, right? Yeah. Still got room? Get to sign up. Yeah, still got room. So, yeah, Chris Sloan. I mean, yeah, you just look at some of the names on here. You just go, yeah, Ildemar Ruiz, Arturo Quintero. Arturo's probably going to have to get through Tour Trials to stay on Portland. Yeah. I mean, because it's not going to – I don't think there's going to be any – I think you're going to have to be exempt in that top 55, whether it's out of Tour Trials or from the points list from this year to make a PBA League team next year. And there's still going to be 7 guys that will be on the outside looking in. Oh, easily, 100%. Yeah. So, yeah, I do not envy anybody coming down here in August. And PTQ will be here, and day 3 of the 4 days of Tour Trials will be here at Bolero Mount Prospect.
They start at Bolero Woodridge on a 35-foot pattern, then Bolero River Grove at a 41-foot pattern, then a 44-foot pattern here in Mount Prospect, and then out to Deer Park for a 47-foot pattern. So they changed that because there were pattern names on there, and now they've changed it to just lengths and distances and such. So there's only one named pattern out of the Tour Trials, and that's the Dragon pattern on the PTQ for the second 6 games.
Okay.
So, is there a bat pattern now? Has that been verified that there's a pattern called the bat?
Oh, I have no idea.
I think there's a pattern. Somebody told me that they're actually like a flying rodent.
I figured it was urethane pattern A, urethane pattern B, urethane pattern C.
Yes, there is a bat pattern on the PBA sheet. It is what do we got here? 37 feet in length. So yeah, so that's urethane pattern Q or whatever it may be. That is one thing. It seemed like at tour events this year, more times than not, it wasn't a urethane fest.
It's very unfortunate. I ain't got a whole lot to say about that. Try to stay out of trouble here.
Right.
You know, the best of my abilities. Not very good at that sometimes.
Well, sometimes you do say it, though, and it's correct.
You know, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, normally when I've said something, I haven't been wrong. I just haven't presented it right. And I've taken ownership through that, and I've said that many times through social media platforms or being on Bowl TV or now the PBA YouTube channel just now. And am I proud of the things I've said? Yeah. Am I proud of how I've done it? Yes and no. Like, sometimes you just have to do things that
sometimes you got to wave that red cloth in front of the bull.
And I've waved it. I'm trying to stay out of trouble again.
Oh, I understand. But it's one thing as a fan I've always appreciated. It's been your honesty on stuff. Is that, you know, you're not afraid to speak what you see out there, and you know it's always been appreciated.
I had a couple people ask me or tell me at Bowl Expo they loved my honesty, my passion.
Yeah.
I guess that, you know, passion is probably the word that comes to mind more than anything about how I speak my mind. Is I'm very passionate about what we do. This guy just asked if I can bowl with his wife, but you spelled my name wrong, so no, I can't bowl with your wife.
Was his guy's name Steve Pfeiffer? Careful on that guy.
Oh, with your
from the
Sean,
podcast,
can you bowl the Lucy with your wife? Can I? Oh, I'm thinking.
Oh,
I thought
okay.
you were saying with your wife, his wife. No, I would bowl with my wife if she bowled full time or practiced a little bit more. I do take 5 steps. I'm a 5-step approach. My first step's about 2.5 inches long. I don't know. I do a semi-fingertip grip. I bury my fingers more than I should. I also have a very short span because of injuries with my hand, my back, my knee, everything. Just sitting in this chair for so long sucks.
Yeah.
It hurts. But
how many times have you changed your span in the last 5 years?
3.
Okay.
Yeah. 3 with pitches, if you want to count pitches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it just goes to show, too, because some people, you know, they probably haven't had anything looked at in 20 years on their grip and such, and you guys out here on tour are always trying to do the right thing for the grip, not just for comfort factors, but for performance as well.
I just changed my PAP towards the end of last year. I've been using a certain PAP for 3 or 4 years, and for the last year I've been trying to do different things with my hand to combat with my injury and urethane and the lack of rev rate, so to say, even though 440, 420 is nothing to be upset about, but it's changed my PAP on how I roll the ball.
Let's take a peek in and see where Heinrichsmeyer and his crew stand there. We'll trade 937.
Yeah,
And
290
so-
this game, so that would get him to 227 if he struck out. He can't get
there.
Can't get to the lead. Nope.
I don't think. Oh, actually, hold on. I think it's 23.
Oh, so you need them all.
He needs them all.
The back 23.
All right, Mark, you breathing a little easier now? He needs to. He did have 30 whatever in a row between 2 years to start the day off. So.
And Kayla needs 50 over the last two, which she's struggling this game with Carrie.
Yeah, where was she at? She's on 5 and 6, or pardon me, on 7 and 8, right? Yeah, she's on 7 and 8. We'll peek in.
Oh, we got the 187, almost to 200. You got 192, I got 187. Come on, phone update. Need to get to 200 people, folks.
Yeah, share that Sean's on. You got him for about another 40 minutes or so. So, yeah, share, and if you got questions, ask him now. I mean, how often do you get a chance to just sit and ask questions of a PBA Tour player? Not very often. Even I don't get a chance to sit here and when I'm at tour events and ask players questions that often. If I get 1 or 2 in, I'm lucky.
Something I would like to see us do more of, too. I've talked to the PBA about, if we go to multiple squads, whether the U.S. Open, the Masters, the World Championships, when they're multiple squads, guys need to come into the booth, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you want to build your brand?
Right.
Well, go talk about yourself,
Yeah.
or talk about the sport, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Help grow it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to doing more over the next few years, right? Normally your late 30s, early 40s, kind of your prime. Unfortunately, with me, my prime was my early 30s. But I'm looking forward to the next chapters. I still have a lot of competitiveness left in me, and I feel like I'm going to be around for a while. But the domination that I had early 2010 years, 12, 11, and it wasn't just me that dominated, but I feel like I had a pretty good run there. So.
It doesn't feel like it's been a dozen years since sitting in the 10th frame lounge in downtown Chicago and hearing your name announced as the
Player of the year.
Player of the Year.
12 years ago, about a month ago, I got voted.
Yeah, it was
in May.
Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I want to say I caught a home run ball that weekend. We went to the Cubs game that year or the next year.
Okay.
But caught a home run ball out in left field.
Oh, there's a good question you just brought up. PAP. So what is it? Yeah, that's the one thing I think that I wish there was just a little more time on the TV shows to just educate people just a hair bit.
Yeah.
I mean, most of it you can go in depth on YouTube, but a good question, PAP, what does it mean and how does it help your game?
Yeah, positive access point. And oh my God, there's the leave on lane 7. Hold on, I got a video of this, folks. Get my phone.
The 245, that's a Peterson leave.
We're not
My
bowling the
goodness.
Peterson.
I know, but
Jeff Riggles. All right, here we go.
that's something you'd see there.
Zoom in. We have the 2, 4, 5, 7, 10. Oh, don't walk in the way. He's walking in the way. He's shooting it. Here we go, folks. Move.
He's got a chance. Oh, no! He was robbed.
Too many people in my way.
Hit the 2 into the 5, and the 5 goes in front of the 7.
That's just a bad break. That's
Was
the bad break
robbed.
of the day.
I've seen that leave once at the Peterson.
Tough break. Tough break. So positive access point, and then your pro shop operator is your best guy to figure something out in regards to laying bowling balls out, right? Where the pin is, where your CG is, where the mass bias point is. And, there's so many variables in our sport that come to play on what matters. Lane surface, ball surface, core, shape, rev rate, ball speed, who you follow, who you bowl with.
I mean, PAP really didn't come into play until, what, mid-90s?
Yeah, and I mean, that's
nobody
before
looked at.
my time. Like, I didn't know what PAP was until I got to college.
Yeah.
when I bowled for Wichita State. So,
Wait, like 2,300 games when you're a kid without knowing your PAP. That's pretty phenomenal.
no clue. Put pin above the fingers and grip and rip, baby. That's what it was. Said if you're not first, you're last comment. It's grip it and rip it.
Did you bowl in your No Fear T-shirt then? Is it with all that No Fears?
Yeah, I should have had one.
I remember those shirts.
2, 3, 4, 5. I think Kayla just left 6 10-pins that game on 7 and 8.
Wasn't that, no, that wasn't Heinrich Meyer's second pair. That was, no, somebody else. He was on 15, 16 the second game. Not like showing up for bowling in your No Fear T-shirt and your Zubas. And I still own Zubas. Hey, 201. We're getting there. But we've really jumped up the views, too. So apparently people are tuning in, hearing me talk.
Yeah, not me.
And then tuning out, and then they stay around when they hear you talk. So maybe I should shut up a little bit more. So.
Phil, I'm going to practice today. You want to practice with me?
I don't have my stuff. I can throw a house ball.
That would help. Give me a little carry down.
Let's see. Last time I bowled competitively was January of 2020.
Oh, boy.
The first frame of the first game of the team event I bowled in, I left a 5-7-10. And then I knew. That was kind of the calling card right there.
All right, is Trey still striking?
I don't know. Did he? No. He's up on the high end here.
Yeah. Oh, just
sure.
missed.
And he went high.
Chris Prather, I think you're safe, right? Or no, he's on.
No, it's Blaha. Yeah, Mark
he
Blaha.
wants to go on our.
So and then second place right now is Bailey Maverick.
14.99. So.
Yeah, Maverick's 14.88.
He's got to have them all. 14.88. I thought it was 90.
For second. No, for second.
Oh, he missed it.
Oh, my.
That's not a good mistake.
No.
Well, there's not going to be a repeat champion as of right now, right?
The only person that has a chance to repeat going to Portland is Lenny Borsch, and that's because he's the high super senior right now after he bowled last weekend.
Oh, okay.
So they're taking the senior classic division winner, which he won last year, and then they're also taking the high super senior finisher out of that division. So right now, with a week to go.
Pocket 6-pin again. That's the third one I've seen.
Lenny Borsch Jr. is the only player I know of that has a chance to repeat going to Portland. And with the year that Lenny's had, I'm rooting that on, yeah. So he had a great week in Columbus, Wayne Webb's Columbus Bowl. Led the qualifying in the PBA 60 Tristan Tapps Memorial. And unfortunately, with the PBA 50 format, with the modified bracket, it was
all she wrote.
3-game match against the number 24 seed. And, away he went.
Oh, he lost.
Yeah, the 24 seed got by the 9 seed, and then Lenny got him in the next round, and Lenny got the boot. But Bo Gergen took down
a couple Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
saw that. Good for Bo.
Yeah.
Saw him in Denver at Bowl Expo.
Oh, slap that 9. Yeah, stare it down too. While you're at it.
CJ's got a good game, 268, but only going to be 160 over.
Yeah,
only 160 over.
So Trey's got some. Boy, you look at the history. Obviously, it goes even before you at Wichita State. I mean, the number of players that have come out of that program over the years. I mean, Rick Steelsmith's the first one I remember, and that was mid-'80s.
Yeah.
For Rick, and it's just been phenomenal.
Wallachek and Romig and Barnes. Kind of a little bit of a break after Barnes and Wallachek, that group, right?
A little bit, yeah. I remember I was coaching UW Whitewater in 2007. We got to ITCs for the first time, and we had to bowl at North Rock. And the 2 matches we lost were both against Wichita State. I think we had 4 people cheering for us against the 500 at the bowling center. But it was still a 5th place finish. Yeah, still a 5th place finish. But it's amazing when you get a finish like that, how it can kind of get a program on the map for a while. And now you look at UW Whitewater, and it's one of those programs that's constantly in, the top
Yeah,
they're
Whitewater's
kinda
had a nice little couple years.
Yeah, they've had some nice runs, and it's just incredible where it's not just about, okay, how much, everybody looks at the scholarship money and that kind of thing, and a lot of people don't realize there's not a lot of scholarship money for Wichita State. If you go to Boulder, you don't get bowling scholarships. You can get academic scholarships, correct?
Yeah, I mean, they have bowling scholarships as well, and
But,
just recently, the women have been approved and joined the NCAA.
Oh yeah, Division I, yeah,
So,
NCAA. So
very significant change there this year, and I don't know enough of the details, but it'll be really good it'll benefit the men's program significantly.
Yeah. And then, you look at just the competitiveness of women's bowling, whether it's at the NCAA level or there's enough teams that cross over into the USBC competitions as well. I mean, you look at Jacksonville State this year with the O'Keefe's moving from McHenry to Jacksonville State, and they get a second place finish in the USBCs, because that was happening at the same time we were in Detroit for the
right when the World Series Masters was last year and next year in Detroit. That's right.
Do you think the odds are, with the purchase of Thunderbird by Bolero, that it's going to be the home of World Series of Bowling for a while? It's just you don't have to answer. My opinion's kind of leaning that way, at least for a couple of years.
I don't know if it's the World Series that we go there consistently, but I would have to imagine that Bolero, Detroit, Thunderbowl, whatever they
I hope
they keep the name Thunderbowl, but
even Bolero Thunderbowl is fine. Yeah,
we're going to be going there for a while.
Yeah,
and I don't mind that. I bowl decent there. I've had my good events, of course. I've had some bad too, but that place has been good to me. I won back-to-back titles in 2016. I lost back-to-back shows at the World Series there, and I think it was the first one, 2009, 2010. But I have a feeling there could be a lot more there, or a lot less. Who knows?
right.
The good thing about Bolero owning the PBA is we have a lot of locations to choose from to go bowling events at, and that's a huge positive for us in the highest part of our sport.
And then the one thing that fans keep in mind, too, is that Bolero's not shutting anybody out from hosting a PBA Tour event. I mean, you look at Dave Small in Indiana. We've been to Anderson, Indiana a couple times now for events there.
Jack 60. We've been to Anderson. We've been to Kokomo.
Springfield this year, Enterprise Park Lanes again. And it's nice that a couple of the centers that didn't have TV in 2023 had TV in 2024. So we're going to take a little audio mission here because we've got some bowlers spreading around, and we got one more game left. So take a break, throw those questions to Sean. I already see a couple of good ones we're going to hit him with when he comes back here in a couple of minutes. And mash that share button. You got about a half hour tops to throw those questions at Sean Rash. How often are you going to get that chance to do it and get them answered in a timely and fun fashion? So Game 6 coming up next. And out of nowhere, we got a front 10.
Trevor Rama, plus 42. He's on 17 and 18. Oh, that's that kid, the 200 kid. That was
Yeah,
doing
you were commenting before that was pretty good. So we had a chance for our second 300 on the squad. Boy, we could double our 300 count in 2 squads today. We had 3 to this point in the tournament. We had 1 with Fernando Rodriguez on the 9 a.m. squad. We kicked off the 2 p.m. squad with Trey Heinrichsmeyer with 300. And now we got a chance.
They're just here to show off because I'm here.
all the kids want to impress you. That was flush.
That's 2 in a row straight back.
My goodness, these kids are phenomenal nowadays. I mean, it's not going to be a
I wonder what
a
division
great
he's
day.
in. Did it say?
He's in the Open Classic division.
So he doesn't have a chance to get there, but can get himself a nice
Yeah,
check.
get in it. Hey, and for 12 in a row, the best 300 game award you can get outside of a PBA ring.
As a mini Duke.
The Mini Duke.
I want a Duke.
I know Trey Heinrichsmeyer's already got that spot picked out for his Mini Duke when it shows up. Yeah.
You're the first one to bowl 2, right? Yeah, he's the first one to bowl 2.
Yeah, Chad Moss last year had
that's
2 in
right.
the same squad. So, but yeah, he's the first to do it in 2 consecutive years. Yeah. So he's got the bookends. Here we go for 300.
It's got a hook.
Up. No.
Huh?
210. 297. Great run, though.
Yeah, that was out, inside out. You could see it go out right. He didn't, a little nervous, got popped up.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back.
All right. right, into game 6. We're going to stick with bowler. It might have an outside chance of getting into the top spot for the women's handicap division. Yeah. Megan Mayo is going to need a ton this game, though. She's at 12.05. She gets 30 pins a game of handicap. And I want to make sure I'm on the... Now she comes up light. 248. She needs to get the 14.51 to tie for the lead. That's currently held by Kaylin Ranson. So with 30 pins of handicap, she's going to need to throw 222 to take the lead outright. And, of course, that's pending average verifications and such, because you need to do all your homework when we're dealing with pins awarded to players in competition.
Got my chat back up.
Hey,
to
Sean.
see, who is asking a question?
There's been a couple of good ones. I like the one from El Bolo Loco. About 4 questions up there. Apparently, they want to commit bowling crimes and erase their fingerprints. With how do you change your PAP? I thought it was like a bowler's fingerprint.
Yeah, age will do it real quick. The older you get, the body just doesn't do the same thing, right? Like how you want to release it, what type of pattern you're playing on, what type of ball you're throwing, all that kind of stuff will help. Or change it, slightly. Bad habits creep in, though, sometimes, right?
So did it move up, down, left, right?
So I was 5 and in 1/8 and 3/16 up. Now I'm 5 1/4 over and 1 3/16 up. So I went up an inch almost, which is a huge difference.
So is that increasing the side rotation on your ball? Or
A little bit, I believe,
okay.
yeah. But it definitely, the balls that I thought I was drilling 5 1/2 inch pins are now 4 3/4 to 5 inch pins. So when they're getting to the pins, they just aren't going through them like they should be. So it's not good.
Gets to the pocket and just kind of goes instead of hitting strong. Oh, a big break there for Megan.
She's our one that has a chance.
She's the one in the squad that has a chance to get themselves on one of the leaderboards. I mean, there's 8 leaderboards to choose from. We don't have any exempt players on this squad.
So she needs what again?
222.
Scratch.
Scratch this game. She'll get 30 pins of handicap, and that would give her 14.52, and that would be enough to get into the lead.
And they take 1 or 2 from her.
They take
division.
1 from her division to Portland. So.
All right. So you're telling me there's a chance?
There's a chance, and with a break like that for Megan.
You need a pin in the chair, they say. A pin in the chair.
You're not a big poker player. I mean, I know that you like
be,
craps.
I loved poker.
So you'd sit there for a few hours
Yeah.
and shuffle chips
I won
around?
a couple single-day tournaments when I was younger.
Really? Okay. Did not know that.
Paid $1,000, $2,000 bucks. $25, $30 entry fees, and 50 to 100 people in them. I spent 12 hours in one, and I lost patience with poker. Can't imagine why.
Yeah, that is one thing you definitely have to have.
Like
it's like B squad qualifying. It's like You gotta get
tells
through
me
it
I'm not very patient. I feel like I'm patient at times when it comes to certain things, but then I know for a fact that I'm not very patient with certain things.
So your daughters have the patience from you or the patience from your wife? Oh, and Mayo gets a bad break.
I'm not answering. No comment.
Almost got a bad shot into a good break. Took out the 2-4 from behind, but still leaves now the 110.
Yeah, she's in trouble. She needs to make this. She needed another double before the 6th frame. Because if she opens, she only has 245 max. So she would need a triple and a double somewhere. That's got no chance. Not going to hook enough that way. So spare, sheet, double, spare, 3-bagger, 3-bagger, spare, double, something.
So how much can you tell? Because you said you're probably going to throw some practice after this is done tonight. How much of a look can you get after getting chewed up with 24 games, obviously, with 6 games, 4 players in a lane, and
yeah, my biggest thing is just getting my timing together and getting my body comfortable bowling again. A week off at Bowl Expo, a couple days off after my trip to Asia. Just haven't had time to practice.
Yeah.
My goal is to practice next week every day, so a little wide at target, 2-8-10. She's on 15 and 16 too.
Yep. So Pashina also had a very outside chance of getting into the top 2 for the women's classic division. That's
she needed 260
now gone.
And now
that is now gone. So that's sometimes beat the board tournament. That's the tough part. You know what you kind of need, and then it's easy to press a bit.
Yeah, I've always said I'd rather post a number than chase a number, especially when I got a bowl tomorrow. Grandpa, congratulations. You are one of the 2 finalists for sure.
And then let's see, what's Graham done on that TV pair in Portland in the last couple of years? Has he always struck, or
I don't know
it sure
if he's
seems
missed
like
yet.
it? Yeah,
He was 10 for 10 2 years ago.
Yeah,
right, or last year, 2 years ago.
2 years.
It was last year.
Was it last year? 10 for 10. Okay.
And I don't think he bowled the year before, so he hasn't missed on it.
Yeah. So good luck. The other 11 players are going to try to take $60,000 out of their grandfather's pocket.
Ask him for a chop.
Chops don't happen in bowling.
Yeah.
It's like poker. Nobody chops in poker.
I've chopped 3 times in poker.
Yeah.
One, because the same 3 of us played for an hour.
Oh.
And we were like, and there were some cash games coming up. We were like, let's just get this over with.
Okay.
Oh, another 6, 7, 10.
And
she's got room. She needs them all.
5-bagger and a 9 count gets her in by a stick.
She's throwing 5 in a row today.
She had 267 in game 2, so I would assume yes.
Yeah.
And a 237 in game 3, so coming in at a 186 average. Not too shabby. Once we're through with Megan and Kayla here, we'll get a few frames to harass our defending champion Heinrich Myers. He's defeated, he's dejected, he knows he can't.
Yeah, he's a little frustrated.
Get there.
Ooh, stone 9.
Oh, can he get the? He's at 1190, isn't he? So he can still get the second, but he needs 300 again.
Done. That's the thing about bowling these patterns, right? Or bowling on these types of patterns, that you can string them together pretty quick. You can also leave them. If your ball is doing the wrong thing.
Do you have to change like how you're watching ball roll when it's a tougher pattern than like you look at it different, obviously on tour, but do you like sight your targeting or anything different than like when you're home in league as compared to?
I mean, I target or use the arrows for reference points, right? So.
And we're done. No leaderboard changes are possible.
3 days left.
Yep.
Right? Tomorrow.
4 squads left. 3 days over in 4 squads. There's a squad tomorrow at 11 a.m. next Saturday at 9 and 2, and next Sunday at 11 a.m. I know that Bill O'Neill is next Sunday at 11. You're tomorrow at 11.
Oh, Bill is bowling.
Bill is on the schedule tentatively, so
Okay.
I know he's going through a rough patch right now with his father passing away recently, and sometimes getting back into the swing of things might be a good thing, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I want to send my condolences to Bill and his family.
Yep.
I did call him last week when I found out. Pops was a phenomenal individual. And, so, Bill, we're thinking of you.
Yep, and we're all hoping to see you next week and be able to talk to you a little bit in person as well. So, pattern they're playing on, it's a 43-foot pattern. It's custom designed for this LBC National Championships. You can actually go to the PBA website and download all the information about this pattern. So actually, we've had several players say they've practiced it in their home bowling center before they've come here and gotten some basic knowledge and then kind of fine-tuned it, because obviously the lane surfaces are different from center to center as well. And they learned a lot practicing on it at home, so it's always an advantage too. Plus, when you're traveling, how fun is it trying to travel with a car full of bowling balls, Sean, where you don't know where a pattern is or what you're going to be heading into?
Yeah, I'm fortunate that I live an hour away and I have 12 balls in the car, right?
Yeah.
So having, this question here just coming in, as a bowler, how do you do that, right?
Yep.
How do you practice and whatnot? It's great. Great question. But you got to get in tight with your pro shop. Get in tight with the manager. Find out what's going on locally, in your community, and find a way to go practice.
Yeah. I mean, there's always ways you can search for deals at bowling centers that have, slower times where you can get in and practice late. And one thing when I was a lot more of a competitive player, I always loved going in after leagues got done and going. You can get lanes at 9 o'clock at night pretty easily. And then you're not bowling on fresh stuff all the time. You're bowling on something that's chopped up that makes you think and move around a little bit more. And then you really got to work on practicing your spares more, which is, you can play the old low ball. I know you do that a lot.
I play low ball a lot.
You do a lot.
Especially when I practice like coming up in the season, September, October, November, December, I'll practice low ball games once a week, 1 or 2 games of my practice. So,
have you ever had a perfect 20?
My lowest score is 27.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
that is severely impressive.
14 one counts in a row. Before that was 34.
Okay. Somebody in the Milwaukee area ran in a low ball tournament one year, and I think the game that won was 44 or something like that.
That's still pretty good.
That's really good. Especially when you have to hit something on every shot. You can't just hit the 10 and then try to throw it back through on the 10.
Yeah, I had a 3. How did I get 27? I think I had 17 one counts. A 3, a 4, and a 3 were my 20 shots.
Wow. Oh, you see somebody bowling, says they're bowling tomorrow on the E.J. Tackett pattern because the PBA Junior program has some patterns named after current PBA stars with Tackett and Danielle McEwen, I know, as one of the patterns, and Bill O'Neill is the third pattern. When's the Sean Rash pattern getting into PBA Junior?
Yeah, I'm not surprised at it. I'm surprised it hasn't been happening, but at the same time, I'm not, right? That love-hate, you can't do that to him. But as many youth events that I've done and sponsored, it'd be cool to have a name pattern built after me. But, there's plenty of people before me that probably deserve the recognition before me. And, maybe one day it happens. But I don't know what my pattern I would want to be.
Yeah, would it be shorter, longer?
Yeah, I feel like I'm a pretty good ambassador to youth bowling to a certain degree, right? I ran a lot of scholarship tournaments. I donate scholarship money to the PBA and multiple organizations through the years.
Yeah. Well, I remember in 2022 you gave a nice talk to all the PBA Junior finalists before they had their match play finals down in Texas. So you had a nice chat with all of them.
$2,000 that day.
Yeah. So, I remember that as well. So, definitely a big supporter of the youth part of this game, and that'll be happening for many more years to come, I'm sure.
front bucket spare.
The old 1, 2, 3, 5.
Yeah, it's what well, it might have been the 2, 4, 5,
Okay.
but he was in my way, actually. I couldn't tell.
All right, let's take a peek down. Eric Spire just trying to get the biggest check he can. Not a bad score for CJ Petrin either right now at the moment.
Yeah, they're almost tied. 40 pins difference, but
Yep, that's how I feel about my bowling.
for anybody that can't hear that in the background.
That's why I talk about it and don't do it anymore. Actually, I can't say it. I did throw a few balls last year out at Parker Bones Scholarship Tournament out in New Jersey when I was doing the live streaming out there. Because I had, once again, string pins. I had to try the string pins. So they had some demo balls for the, for the big B brands. And I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Throw a few balls, tennis shoes, that kind of thing. And so it's like, oh, you can. He was showing me all the stuff you could do. Like, yeah, you can spot anything. I mean, that was kind of the neat stuff. When I practice 10 pins and just shoot those alone, you can do it right on the keypad, and just set down a single pin and just keep shooting at it.
Well,
you want another 10 pin, 10 pin, 10 pin. Beautiful. I mean, so you don't have to worry about anything with that. And if you want to shoot 5 sevens, you can shoot 5 sevens. And yeah, it was pretty neat to see that way. It wasn't one of the certified pin setters, but it was different. It was fun. Remember the first time I bowled on, my wife's work at a Christmas party. You're familiar with Whirly Ball being down here in the Chicago area, so they have one up in the Milwaukee area, and they have 12 lanes there, 8 lanes in one section, 4 in another, and they have the, as they call them, the carnival strings. Guy had never bowled before, picked up the 710 twice. And
Okay, there you go.
like never was a serious. Oh, he said he bowled one other time in his life, and he left the 710 twice, and he picked it up both times. And right then you go, huh? That's like the golfer at the U.S. Senior Open and went back-to-back holes and won.
Yeah, shot 10 over.
Yeah.
There was this question a little bit back, Lemon Hammer. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but looking to get back into bowling after a long hiatus. How do I choose the right equipment? I guess you could ask the pro shop if they have any used equipment for sale first, right? You can always get some cheap balls. You don't need to go buy the newest and fanciest most aggressive ball either. Start with a spare ball. Start with a low-end ball. A hustle, a tropical surge. A mix, something that hooks just a little bit. Get your feet wet and get back into it.
Especially because in league competitions, there's no rules against using equipment that's plugged and re-drilled.
No, can't have an access hole. That sure makes it different.
Yes.
So we don't want to do any of that. But you can bowl some non-sanctioned leagues and you can have whatever you want. Yep. There's plenty of those around the country.
You can find some old bowling balls that have .080 differential out there that maybe never were drilled at. Guys like you couldn't throw back in the day because they would just hook and flare way too much. But for some guys with not as much mitt, it really helped them rev it up and hook the lane. And I know one guy at Still Bowls League with I think it's a Visionary something or other. It had an 080, almost close to 080 differential. Is it still 06 on the diff?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Just don't design it for 06 and leave it at 06.
Let it be under.
Let it be under. That is one thing over the years, though, when things have happened in the manufacturing process, that the manufacturers have worked to make things right. It doesn't matter what the company's been. I mean, you see it in other sports, and you see, oh, too bad. I mean, I've seen it with golf clubs and that kind of thing as well. But what's happening in bowling, it's okay. Let's make it. We'll make it right. We'll do. You have this. We'll replace it. We'll do this. So, I saw there was a pickleball controversy last month.
Pickleball, I was going to say, just to start, pickleball has gained a lot of traction over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But
some illegal paddles were out on the market, and the company was fighting for a little while, and then they finally caved in and said, okay, we'll replace the paddles. I'm trying to think of what would make up an illegal pickleball paddle.
hardness of the wood,
I guess, or something.
Had to be hardness, right? Like
Yeah.
how it bounces off or how it
It'd have to
deflects.
be. Because like with baseball and softball bats, it's always coefficient of restitution, which is in bowling as well. When you deal with the pins, they test for how much the pins bounce. The old coefficient of restitution.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough thing too. I think pins are the easier way to kind of change our sport if you want. And I think strings are heading that direction to help change it.
Oh, somebody take a set of the old Brunswick gold pins back on the tour in the late 90s and stuff like that and throw those on strings.
Not all of those were heavy, right? Like some of those were,
yeah. No. Oh, were they regular? Okay.
Some were regular, some were heavy. Like,
okay.
As far as I know, like
I just see a lot more of those made as lamps now than you go to. I've seen a few at flea markets and stuff like that. Like you're on
the
eBay.
Hole in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, they've turned them into a lamp. Here's a Brunswick gold pin. It's a lamp. My brother did make some. My brother's pretty crafty. He did make some living room furniture, like tables and end tables out of old bowling lanes and bowling pins. Pretty sharp looking
I've seen
stuff.
the tables with bowling pins with a lane on top of it,
Yeah.
or some sort of glass.
Yeah. So, all right. If anybody's got questions, you got about 2 more frames here to get them in.
I
Because
think this one is what pattern are they bowling on? Did you already answer that one?
yeah, the 43 foot.
Yeah.
They can go to PBA.com and get all the
Oh, yeah,
information
that's what
on
we're
it.
talking
Yep.
about.
So
Then I went to the next guy.
yeah, Victory's got a lot of questions. Unfortunately, I can't answer.
Sorry,
or there may be
Victory.
comments. Yeah. So once again, 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Can't wait.
Tune in. Sean Rash will be bowling. I'm sure he'll put in.
Zavala's bowling.
Yeah.
She's flying
Is she
in
going to be on your
tonight.
pair too? Do you know if they have you on the same
believe
pair?
We are on the same pair.
There you go. So I'm sure Sean will put on his social media. Check out if you're not already following Sean Rash Bowling on Facebook. Do so. You also Sean Rash. I don't know your YouTube handle.
Everything's Sean Rash Bowling or Sean Rash fan page or just Sean
Right.
Rash.
Yeah.
Between YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter/X.
So I'm sure he'll throw out there what pair he's starting on, and then as you've seen with the feeds, it's easy to follow around because we put all the pairings in on the description of what you're watching, and then you just click to the next pair he's going to end up going to. So best part about the LBC National coverage, every pair, every game.
My mom
for
just sent me
free.
a picture of all the pins that we've collected through the years.
My goodness.
Some fun ones, some gold ones.
Yeah.
My mom likes.
I like
to
the
collect stuff.
one with the hair. I like the one with the bushy hair.
Is that because you don't have any, or?
I just got that crown.
Yeah.
I got that crown spot in the back.
That one's from Hawaii, I believe.
Can't decide if I want to use Rogaine or spray paint to cover it up someday. But
Just let it go.
well, nobody sees it when I got my headphones on anyway, so I just blame it on that.
Wear a hat.
All right.
CJ's going to bowl 240. He's going to get to almost 200 over. He's going to go by.
It's a nice check.
Trey.
Yeah.
Probably be a couple grand would be my guess. Right?
Pretty close at this point in time, yeah. So I think somebody said last year they shot 1,400 and they got like $1,300, but the scores were higher last year too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, the scoring pace is down this year.
Yeah, don't tell Graham that.
Well, that's the 5,000 on top for Graham, still the same whether we would have did it last year or this year. That's what Jake Peters got last year.
He didn't bowl 15. We didn't bowl
No,
1,500.
you guys were all on your own squad. I think he had. I think he barely had 14.
They were all 1,400s. I bowled 700 the first three. It was in the top 5 and bowled 660 and finished 9th, I think. I had 170 over. Our scores are actually higher this year on our side.
Yeah, because you guys are all.
Not all.
This pattern's not designed for 50 pros.
No, not at all.
It's designed for players like myself or like you watching at home. So we're going to end our broadcasting day here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Please tune in. Sean Rash will be bowling, Stephanie Zavala, and others as well. And then we'll have one more weekend of competition next weekend. Saturday at 2 p.m., Chris Vi is scheduled to be here on the main feed, and we'll wrap things up on Sunday. It'll be the $2 and beef show. I have to give him top billing, though. Beef and $2 show? Yeah, I got to give Stu top billing. Stu Williams will end up our booth coverage next Sunday on the 11 a.m.
all right.
local time squad. So
he's bowling next Saturday.
he will be bowling Saturday. So there's 4 PBA Tour professionals scheduled to bowl still with Nick Pate, Chris Vi, Stu Williams, and Bill O'Neill. So, Sean, thanks for sitting in with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
this afternoon. I know the fans appreciate it. I know there's going to be a lot more people watching, catching up as they get home. I mean, Andrew Anderson, we got off the air last week, and we had about 3,000 views, and he had 16,000 by the time it was done.
Wow.
Something tells me.
Andrew's more popular than I am.
Well, he's the MVP of the Elite League.
He
So,
is. He is our MVP.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's on my team.
Yeah, I was
He
going to
bowled
say.
phenomenal this year.
Yeah, and you're definitely. I've seen the odds posted from the Potawatomi
Yeah, we
Sportsbook in
finally got
Milwaukee,
odds.
and you guys are definitely the money line favorite.
We were the favorite not to make it to begin the year.
Yeah,
Yeah, just FYI.
Oh,
and
wasn't-
now we're the number 1 seed.
yeah. It wasn't on my end.
Yeah,
On
we
the radio.
were.
I
Andrew said people made fun of picking me and Thomas for our 5th and 6th picks.
Yeah.
So
Wrong
team,
answer. Yeah,
team chemistry
right.
worked out all right. So
Team chemistry goes even in 2-game Baker matches. Team chemistry goes a hell of a long way. You'll see that again on TV in September.
yep.
So
Well, Phil, thanks for letting me join you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
absolutely.
the PBA asking me to join in on the booth, and I'm looking forward to somewhat bowling tomorrow.
yeah, and I'm sure Dinah and Gene will be watching.
Yeah, they're actually gonna come out. They're gonna drive.
Oh,
with
they're
me.
oh, beautiful! I'll be
We're
glad
only
to see
an
them in
hour
person.
away,
Yeah, it'd be
so.
beautiful to see them in person again. All right, everybody,
All right,
thanks for
man.
watching. We'll see you tomorrow.